Ooh, what the heck? Why the heck? Is Discord broken? Wait, Molly, can you hear me? I just want to make sure that's coming through.
Yes, I can hear you.
So strange. I wonder why Discord is acting like this. One sec. Let me close that and then reopen it. Hey, how are we all doing? What are we all up to? Okay. There it goes. Hope everyone's having a great day. Man, virtue ethics is such a great ethical system, man. I feel like it really does just solve all of the problems. I don't know. There's like a lot of like persistent problems that other systems just seem to get like low-key demolished by. And it seems like virtue ethics is just able to like solve all of the tough ones. For example, like it gives so one intuition is that whatever like the true ethical thing is, if everyone is bound by the ethical law, then it needs to in some way connect back to what their goals are. That ethics is going to be bound by normativity, and normativity derives entirely from your goals. What the flip? How did I even do this? Oh, okay, I see. Never mind. Hold on. Let me do a bit of topology. Growing the beard? Yeah, a little bit for now. I'm sure it's driving my girlfriend insane, but yeah. I did discover knot theory. Oh no, it's all fucked up. Okay. Good. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, and all that good stuff. If you're watching this in the future as well, make sure you're dropping those likes, dropping those subscribes. Let me get my shoes on off. One thing that I've been thinking about and reading about more is that I think I'm starting to understand the force of one sec. I think I'm starting to understand the force of like the theism is a bad explanation objections. That behind every explanation, whenever you try to explain something with God, you're going to need to say, well, the explanation just is that God willed it to be this way. But then, I mean, you could explain literally any data point with this at all. The world could look like anything, and you could say, well, God willed it to be this way. So what you actually need is like some sort of reason to think that God would will it this way in order for it to be any explanation at all. Otherwise, it's like as bad of an explanation as saying, well, listen, man, the life fairy willed there to be life, and then the life appeared. You just posit like a fairy with the desire and power to bring life about, and then, that's as strong of an explanation as God did it, unless there's some reason to think that God would do it otherwise. Okay, one sec. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. You can also be a deist. I'm fine with a deist too. But you need to believe in God. You need to believe that there's like some sort of personal ultimate foundation. Miko Mekopo, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate the heck out of that. Let's get a big W for Miko Mekopo as we go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Never mind, Alpha.
Okay. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. We've talked before. I just had a question about consciousness, like a genuine question on your stance on consciousness. Like
Sure.
specifically where like I've listened to you for a long time. Uh where do you think consciousness comes from?
Well, I don't know. I think atheism is probably compatible with a lot of different views on this, but well, actually, I think atheism is probably just compatible with all the views. I think I probably tend to lean towards something like, like a physicalism that consciousness emerges from the brain, that ultimately it's going to be reducible to brain states. But that's like a pretty lightweight system, or it's like a pretty lightweight view of consciousness. So if it turns out that physicalism doesn't have the resources to actually account for consciousness, then I think atheism can pretty comfortably just like ratchet it up one notch and say, well, there's like conscious properties that are intrinsic to the particles themselves, or maybe there's like the dualistic substance that interacts with the physical substance. I don't know. I think atheism seems compatible with all of those.
Okay, you explained my question with like the one up step thing for the, so I appreciate that, and I am so sorry to keep this super short, but I got a customer, so
That's okay.
cheers.
Yep, have a
And
good
thanks.
one. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all the good stuff. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 40.
And what religion?
I'm a Christian.
Yeah, what makes you think God exists?
Never mind, I'll find someone like.
That's pretty good. Is this person too? Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
man. Good, how are you, brother?
Yeah, doing well. How old are you?
39.
And what religion?
Christianity.
Yeah, what makes you think God exists?
I think that science and God are one of the same.
Well, I mean, science is a methodology for arriving at knowledge. I don't think God is a methodology. What are the steps of God?
The steps of God?
Yeah, like there are steps to
I
doing
think- I
science,
think
right? There's
the
like
steps of
steps
God
to the scientific
bring you
method.
to-
What are the steps to God? If God and science are one and the same.
I think the steps of scientific method is also compatible with God.
Are you in the bathroom?
Yes.
That's disgusting. Why the fuck would you think that that's appropriate? Hey, how's it going?
Are you only looking to speak to Americans?
No.
All right, I'm 25.
Yeah. How old are you and what religion are you?
I'm 25 and a Christian.
Yeah. What makes you think that God exists?
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing.
Okay, that one's pretty good. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. Hey, how's it going?
Hey Ian, how are you doing?
Yep, doing well. How old are you?
I'm 46 last time I checked.
Yep, and what religion?
I'm a general theist, but you said I could ask you about time and your possession on time.
Sure, go for it.
So I have heard that you have said that you can't be in two timelines at the same time. Do you still stand on that?
Yeah, it would collapse into one timeline. Because if the two timelines have like a point at which they're simultaneous, then the two timelines are just connected.
Do you mind if we do a very, very short experiment?
I guess.
Okay. Can you count for me to 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Would you agree that the same Ian that was 5 seconds ago are the Ian that is in front of me now?
The same Ian?
Yeah.
Depends how strict we're getting with identity. But yeah, I think that like something that shares the same essential features, like I think it's the same entity, yeah.
So when you say now, or I say now, would you agree that that becomes a past time as well as it is in present time?
I'm an idealist about passage. I hold to like eternalism about time, so I think the entire timeline is actual. I don't think that there's like genuine, real deal passage of time, but rather I think that every moment is actual, kind of like I don't know, like a
Can you
like a
explain that
video
to me? Like I'm
timeline.
5 years old and didn't understand the thing you
Have you
just
ever
said.
worked with like a video editor timeline before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think time is something like that, except in 3 dimensions, that each slice there, instead of being like 1 dimension is or maybe like 2 dimensions, is instead like 3 dimensions.
And how does it become 3 dimensions and not 1?
I'm confused what that question's asking.
You said it becomes 3 dimensions, and
No,
then
it
I'm
is 3
asking,
dimensions at each point in time, as opposed to like the 1 that it is on the timeline in like the video editor.
and what are those 3 dimensions?
The spatial dimensions.
And sorry, what do you mean by spatial dimensions? Maybe I should ask that.
You know, space,
Yes,
that, the 3 of those.
but isn't there only one space? I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
a
but
tiny
do you,
bit
are you
confused.
familiar with like the idea of like a dimension?
Don't think so. Probably not.
Right. Okay. So we got I don't know, we got what? We got our 3 dimensions here, right? So there's one that goes like in this direction, one that goes in this direction, one that goes in this direction.
Right.
Yeah, these are like the 3 dimensions. So at each point in time, there's going to be 3 of these. There's going to be like some composition of reality.
So you don't think of past as past, is that correct?
The past is the past from where you are, but I think that all moments are actual.
And by actual we mean what?
It's pretty brute. I don't know, like has being, you know, exists.
So the day that was yesterday, maybe I can make it a little bit farther in time. Is that Ian the same Ian that is today in your mindset?
We're gonna have like different properties, but yeah, we have the same essential properties.
So wouldn't that mean that you exist in two timelines? Because I can go back in
It's the
YouTube
same
and watch you
timeline.
have sorry?
It's the same timeline. Like me yesterday is on the timeline with me today.
Ooh, how does that go?
I guess I'm a bit confused by your confusion, right? You know, when you have a timeline, there's going to be different times on that timeline, and then there are like different corresponding states to each time.
Yeah.
So, you know, you are on the same timeline as you yesterday and you tomorrow. That's kind of just what a timeline is.
Right.
So I'm a bit confused by your confusion.
No, now that you explain it, I understand it, I guess.
Yeah.
But so do you exist in those 3-dimensional timelines at the same time?
No, oh no, the different times are different times, trivially. So they're all actual. A great way to think of it is like space. There's a point that's 10 miles away from here, but it's not right here. It's actual, it exists. The point that's 10 miles from here exists, but it's not right here. The time that's 10 minutes from now is actual, it exists, but it's not right now.
Right. So, would you say that the Ian that was 5 seconds ago is in the same timeline as you are now? And also, would that mean that it is the same timeline?
The Ian, yeah, it's the same timeline, like the one that's 10 minutes from now, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I guess I understand it a little bit more because when you talked to this guy, you said that it was impossible to be in 2 timelines at the same time, but I don't think you really believe that, do you?
No, I do, right? Because if you're in 2 timelines simultaneously, well, then the timelines just sync up. They collapse into one timeline.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you're in the past and in the present at the same time.
It's not at the
Would
same
you
time.
agree
You're
to
at these
that?
different times at different times. It's just that all of them are
Yeah,
actual.
they are at the different times, but they are at the same timeline is maybe what
Yeah,
I'm
it's the same
saying.
timeline. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem with that is.
Okay, so you don't think? Have you ever seen the movie Sliding Doors by any chance?
No.
Okay, so Sliding Doors is a stupid romantic comedy where you see Gwyneth Paltrow coming late to a train, and it follows her in two timelines. One where she gets into the train and meets the man of her life, and one where she doesn't and gets a complicated life. Do you think those kind of timelines are different?
Yeah, those I think that those would be two different timelines. Although, I mean, I don't think that that's like I'm skeptical to say that that's like a genuine possibility that there's like some actual like real deal branching going on based on like decisions. Maybe you'd want to say that there's like branching based on like wave function. But then I don't know, identity gets messy at that point. So
are you someone that believes in like things that has like, for example, if you lose a spoon on the floor, do you think that there's one timeline where you pick it up and one timeline where you don't, or do you think those are the same timeline?
I don't know. It's kind of like I'm not sure if I think that that's like a genuine possibility for there to be like these like multiple timelines. But listen, do you have anything else? Otherwise, I might move on to the next guest.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
I should
love
probably
you
get to like the
and,
God
take care
topic.
of yourself. Okay.
Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. All right, make sure you double tap it on that screen, share it with friends, and all the good stuff. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in God, that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. You can be a deist as well, but you need to believe in an ultimate mind. If you don't believe in an ultimate mind, don't request to join. Hey, how's it going? How old are you? Oh, I accept your surrender. Hey, how's it going? Oh no, that's so sad. Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, bro?
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep. How old are you?
24.
Yep. What religion?
I'm Christian.
Yeah. What makes you think that God exists?
I just have one question. Because I've seen you on here sometimes and I've listened to you talk. And I am by no means a scholar, but I was just curious if by some hypothetical chance in some supernatural way, if Jesus Christ somehow manifested to you right now, or like when you go to sleep tonight or something, and said, "Hey, Ian, I'm real. This is all the proof you need and everything that you've been needing," would you follow him? Or
Yeah, of course.
like,
Yeah. I want to believe true things. So at that
Okay.
point, that would be a true thing. Now, let me ask you, if I found like a contradiction in the Bible, would you stop believing in it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
But I'll tell you, anything that you give me, I definitely will have to go and look at myself. But yeah, if there logically, I also am a truth seeker too. So I believe that if God's word is God's word, He's not going to have contradictions or anything like that in it. So yeah.
okay. Well, here's something to think about. It gets the value of pi wrong. So pi is
You said like 3.1415.
yeah. So the way that we arrive at the value of pi, it's a ratio of two things. It's a ratio of the circumference of a circle that is like all around it divided by the diameter like straight across it. For any circle, you'll get a value of 3.14. But in the Bible, they lay out a description of a circle that has impossible dimensions. It couldn't arrive at 3.14. It would have to be like a value of 3. So the verse is 1 Kings 7:23. Then he made the molten sea. It was round, 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high. A line of 30 cubits would encircle it completely. So it's saying that the diameter is 10. So from brim to brim, it's 10. The circumference is 30. So all around. But then that would leave pi with a value of 3 because it would then be like 30 divided by 10.
Okay. So you're saying that in this verse, it's giving mathematical representations that would not align with our knowledge of what circles should come out to.
Yeah, it's like
If you do
strictly
like the
false.
circumference
Yeah.
divided by the. Okay, all right. So I've actually never heard that, man. That's interesting. I
Mhm.
really have never heard that. So I'll look into that. Did you have any other like contradictions, like maybe like theological contradictions or anything like
Yeah,
that?
let's talk
Or
about some theological contradictions. Do you think God is
for
all
sure.
powerful and all good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And do you think that God has the power to do the impossible?
Depends on what you mean.
Like contradictions? Can you do contradictions?
Like, can you make a triangle not be a triangle?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. So then you would say that everything that God has the power to do, it's possible for him to do.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Sure. Does God have the power to do evil?
Does he have the power to do evil?
Yeah.
Like, just before I answer, you mean like the potential, like the ability to? No.
Oh, well, then it doesn't seem like he's all powerful, because then I would have a power that he doesn't.
Well, I think it would be more so of like from the framework of like the way I see it is like God is light and the absence of light is darkness. So darkness itself isn't actually like a physical thing. So it's not something that light is doing. It's just the absence of light. So I would say analogous to that is evil. So evil is something that is intrinsically not possible for God to do because light and
Mhm.
dark can't mix. So if it's light on in the room, it can't be dark. And if it's dark in the room, it can't be light. So that's how I would say God can't do evil because he is good himself.
No,
Like goodness
that's
and
fine.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does, except it kind of leaves us with the problem, which is that it seems like God doesn't have the power to do something. That there's a thing that I have the power to do that God doesn't have the power to do.
Does light have the power to be dark?
No, but light's not all powerful.
So, well, it's just the principle. Like it's intrinsically impossible to its properties. So like light cannot be dark in any way, sense, or form. It's like saying imperfection can't be perfection. You're either like imperfect or you are perfect. Like it's not. You can't have something that's like. I don't really know how else I can really.
What does it mean
articulate
for
that.
God to be all powerful if he doesn't have all of the powers?
Okay, so we're just making sure we're talking about power, meaning the potential to do something.
Yeah,
right?
like the ability to do it.
Yeah, so we just defined that light does not have the potential to be dark itself, correct?
So are you saying all powerful means that you can do everything that you have the ability to do?
Okay. Okay, because I'm starting to get a little
Well,
confused what you're
so
saying.
here would be like a fruitful thing is if you have like a definition of all powerful that you think fits God, then we could talk about that. But based on what you've said, it kind of sounds like the definition of all powerful that you're giving is that God can do anything that he has the ability to do.
So I would say that God. Okay, so obviously me and you, we exist within 3 dimensions, right? Time, space, and matter.
Mhm.
I believe that God exists outside of those dimensions. So I think that he can manipulate anything within those dimensions. And then also he can take things that like the natural laws that govern those dimensions, he can also manipulate that. So he has the ability and power to do anything within that, I guess, that realm of scope.
Sure. Well, but then that seems like he would then have the ability to do evil. Like he would have the power to do evil because if he can manipulate the world in any way, well, presumably he could, I don't know, he could manifest like cattle prods, right on top of like every single person, jamming into them and cause like agony across the entire world. So it seems like God would have the power to do evil.
I mean, I guess if you're saying like, I feel like this is like a semantic trap because I feel like I've defined what I mean by evil. Like evil itself is not even like it's the like in the sense of light and darkness. If evil is akin to darkness, it is essentially just the absence of light. So it's not light that is saying I have the potential to make things dark itself. Light is light, and we know that when light is on, I mean, in a scientific sense, it's the photons and stuff. It's not them. Light itself is not darkness. I don't know. I really don't know how else to explain it to you, bro.
Well, that's fine, but this just doesn't really seem to be like much of an explanation. Are you saying like, okay, like for example, do I have the power to do evil?
Do you have the capacity? Yeah, you have the potential to do evil. Yes, you have the
Okay.
potential to do wrong.
So then
Because
I have a power that God doesn't.
okay, we're using the word power like as
Like
if it's
ability.
okay, ability. Yes, you have the ability to do evil. You have the ability to transgress against goodness itself.
Does God have that
So
ability?
no, he can't because God is holy, and to be holy means that the standard of goodness is perfection. So that's
Okay.
what it means to be good.
Do you think
So
all
when we say
powerful
evil,
includes all powers?
do I think say that again?
Does all powerful include all powers?
And mean like all powerful mean all ability to do things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's an ability that God could have. You know, he could have
Okay.
the
All right.
ability to do evil. So,
I look. I think we're gonna go in circles on this one, man. You want to go to another one, or
well,
did
I
you have
mean,
like a
it
you?
just seems like there's like this straightforward contradiction.
I still don't see how it's a contradiction. I explained it. But
That's
I
okay.
don't think we're gonna
I
see
can
eye
like
to eye, bro.
syllogize it. We could get like very clear about this in like syllogism form. If God exists, then he is all powerful and necessarily all good. If God is all powerful, then he has the power to do evil.
Man, your chat is funny, man.
If a being has a power, then it is
Right, so-
possible for them to do that thing. If God is necessarily all good, then it is not possible for God to do evil.
Okay, I really think it's as simple
Therefore,
as God
God
does not
doesn't
have the potential to do
exist.
evil, because just like light does not have the potential to be dark, it's the same thing that God cannot.
So,
Would
well,
you
it
say
sounds, are you
would you say by
disagreeing
that
with
logic, like
premise 2? Is premise 2
go
the one
ahead.
that you disagree with?
Okay, hold on. If God exists, then he is all powerful and necessarily all good. If God is all powerful, then he has the power to do evil.
Or
Yeah, I
maybe
guess
maybe
that's where
even
I
better, just
disagree.
like if a being is all powerful, then that being
Guys, I don't
has the
y'all
power
are
to do evil.
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was just saying, we could change it, make it like even more neutral in terms of the words. If a
Okay.
being is all powerful, then that being has the power to do evil.
Well, I just feel like that's like I still do you not understand my point? Like, are you able to still man what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, what you want to say is that God can't do that because that would be a contradiction. But I mean, if you're saying that God can't do this thing that is a power, well, then you would just have to say that God's not all powerful.
Okay,
If there's a power he doesn't have, then he's not all powerful.
okay, brother. All right. I don't know what else you want me to say, man. I told you, you told me that you understand that it would be contradictory for him to be good, and then it's like saying that he can be good and evil at the same time, which if he is the standard of goodness itself, anything outside of that is then inherently evil. I think we have different definitions of evil and what it means to be good, and then the power to be able to exercise those two things out. So I think that's probably where we're not seeing eye to eye on.
But is there like a premise here that you reject? Like, would you reject premise 1, 2,
Yeah, I
3, or
told- yeah.
4?
Number 2,
Okay,
if a
you
being
don't-
is all
okay.
powerful, then that being has the power to do evil.
Yeah, let me further motivate that. So we can give like a sub argument here. If a being is all powerful, then the being has all possible powers. The power to do evil is a possible power. Therefore, if a being is all powerful, that being has the power to do evil.
Well, is that power intrinsic to that being? What if that being is like, I literally don't know how else to explain it, bro. If
Would you
that being
reject-
is all light, the Bible literally akins God to light, right?
Wait,
and it
could
says
you-
that if there's darkness in you, then how great is that darkness within you? So if God is light, we can agree that the intrinsic properties to light are only to it.
Mhm.
Light does not, you told me that you agree that light does not have the ability to be dark.
Is light all powerful?
Obviously light itself is not all powerful. It's
Yeah,
analogy,
exactly. That's the
brother.
problem. If light was all powerful, but it didn't have the power to be dark, then
It's the principle of can light be dark
then it's
itself.
not all powerful. Yeah, that's the
I'm not
symmetry
talking
breaker
about
here.
I'm not talking about it being all powerful, brother. I'm just talking about the principle.
So
The
this is like
principle,
a
can light be dark?
this is like a really good
Okay.
agreement with premise 4. I've already answered this question. That no, light can't be dark.
So then in the same way, God cannot do evil.
Then
If
he's
he is
not
light
all
and the
powerful.
all right, bro. See,
Wait,
that's
would
what
you
I'm saying. We're
reject?
going in a
Wait,
circle.
before you. Okay, can you reject premise 2.1 or 2.2?
Say again? Do I reject
Yeah,
premise 2.1 or
yeah.
2.2?
These ones support premise 2. So if a being is all
Okay,
powerful, then the being has all possible powers. The power to do evil is a possible power.
let me take it. Because this is feeding my own faith, bro. All right, what are you asking me? You're asking if I agree with it?
Yeah, like do you disagree with premise 2.1 or 2.2? Otherwise, the
Being is all
conclusion would just
powerful.
follow that if a being is all if a being is all powerful, then that being has the power to do evil.
I would say that the being, just like we talked about earlier, has the power to do the things that are intrinsic to its nature.
So if a being is all
So-
powerful, then that being does not have all possible powers.
Well, that statement is not inclusive of. Look, man, I don't know how to articulate it, bro. You got it. I'll concede the point, man.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Do you have any reason to think that God exists?
Absolutely, I've encountered him myself.
Okay. That can't be rationally persuasive.
Yeah,
to me.
I'm not saying that that's an objective proof for anybody else. I'm just saying for myself personally, the reason I believe that God exists outside of the historicity of the Bible and the other factors that come into play, I have had my own personal experience with God, which leads me to believe in him. Is that going to make somebody else believe in him? No, because that's my own testimony, and I understand that is in a rudimentary way, it's subjective to my experience. But you asked me, like, do I have a reason to believe that God exists? That is my reason.
Do you
That's
have
my
like
main
something
reason.
that could be compelling to like another person?
Well, I mean, it really, I think it depends on how you see things. Like, do you believe in a higher power at all? Do you believe in a higher purpose to life other than like what biology says? Like, I'm a scientific type of guy. I love science. I study biology. Like, and biology says that the purpose of life, in a dumbed down way, is just to reproduce and continue to give offspring. And what's the purpose of life in biological terms, brother? I just took my evolutionary medicine class.
Oh, sure. So, you might think that that's like maybe that is like an accurate description of purpose, depending on what you mean by purpose. But I think
Purpose
that
to life,
I think that are like, if you're talking in like an existential sense, like what should I spend my life doing? Well, I think that is a different answer. I think that's a different sense of purpose.
No, I'm just asking the overall objective of life itself, not subjective to what you should be doing in your life.
I think it's human
I mean,
flourishing,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? And
which
human
is separate
flourishing would be
from
defined
surviving
as-
and reproducing.
Okay, so, okay, all right, that's fair enough. I'm talking about from a biological framework. So you think that the purpose of human existence is to flourish?
Yeah, well, I think the purpose of everything's like
Okay.
ultimate end is to flourish, from the plant to the fox to the human. I think that's kind of what we're all striving towards is flourishing in our lives.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that to an extent. Do you believe in like an afterlife? Do you believe in anything outside of that, or is just everything is just going to be within this life that we experience?
No, I don't believe in an afterlife. That would seem to make everything like way less meaningful. All the things that I value are on this planet and this life. I need to make the most of it while I have it. Otherwise, I could spend my entire life just waiting for the next one and not actually living.
Okay, so would you, correct me if I'm wrong, if from my understanding what you're saying, you believe that all value that comes from life is flourishing and that is subjective to each person and their experience?
I don't think I said subjective.
No, I'm asking, is it
No.
subjective to? Okay.
No, I'm a moral
So
realist.
what is the objective, I guess, definition of flourishing in a human's life?
Yeah, so flourishing is going to come down to living virtuously. There are certain virtues that are going to be required for all concepts of a good life. That in order to live a life that's full of human flourishing, it needs to be the sort of life that we can rationally reflect on and approve of, which is going to require, like, essentially self-respect. But in order to have self-respect, you're going to need to have all sorts of virtues, like justice, in order to be a fair judge of how your life is going, so that you can respect yourself. You know, things like courage, things like temperance, wisdom, all of them are going to be necessary in order to live a good, flourishing life.
Okay. Okay. All right. I don't really have anything to say to that.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
Nah, man. I appreciate you. What was that verse that you brought up earlier about the
First
mathematics?
Kings 7:23.
1 Kings 7:23. All right, cool. I appreciate you, bro. God
Yeah.
bless you, man.
Yeah, appreciate
Take
you
care.
too. Thanks so much. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, do all the good stuff. Testing. Okay, hopefully my voice will be fine. Gosh, I started joking a bit.
Yo,
Hey, how's it going? How old are you?
23.
Yep, what religion?
Christian.
Yeah, what makes you think that God exists?
Hold up. Before that, let's clarify something.
Okay.
You I caught your live on YouTube, and you were talking about the value of pi. First off, in ancient, like in the Old Testament, they always rounded by 3.
They rounded by 3? How are we arriving at 10 then?
Did you even read the verse?
Yeah, there's one thing that would be rounding to the nearest 3, which would be 30, and then there's 10 and 5. It doesn't seem like they round to the nearest 3 at all.
Right. So let me ask you this.
Wait,
do
we
you
would agree on that, right? Before we move past this, we would agree that
No, hold up.
you know,
no.
a value of 5 and a value of 10 are not rounded to the nearest 3.
Let me pull up the verse. Let me pull up the
Okay.
verse. What's the verse?
Yeah, it's 1 Kings 7:23. Then he made the molten sea. It was round 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high. A line of 30 cubits would encircle it completely.
So this is what's pulled up. Circular design, 15 feet across, 7.5 feet high, based on a standard 18-inch cubit.
No?
Measured 30 cubits around,
What
implying
units?
an approximate mathematical ratio close to pi.
What units?
Let's see. They didn't do units. The capacity held roughly 2,000 gallons of water, approximately 10,000 to
Then your
12,000
numbers
gallons.
are wrong because the numbers are cubits.
No, hold up. No, my numbers aren't wrong because guess what? This comes from Google.
Oh,
You know,
fuck. Well,
AI,
if it's
what
on
y'all
Google, if it's on Google AI,
Oh no, hold
then
up.
it must be true.
Don't
What's
do
the
that,
website?
Because you're getting your information from Google and AI.
I'm getting my information
I
from
know
the Bible
exactly what y'all
itself.
do. You have a bunch of other people who is sending you information for these bad faith questions.
It's right there in your Bible, bud. I'm sorry that your Bible fucked you over.
Bro, did you not just hear me? See, this is what the Bible says.
You said it
about
rounds to the nearest
even though
3. Does
they
it round to
listen,
the nearest 3?
they do not hear. They rounded to the nearest. They rounded to 3.
Oh, sorry. Do you think that 10 cubits is rounded to 3?
3, 6, 9. They
Ye-
rounded down.
So 10 is 10 rounded to the nearest 3?
Do you not? Do you not
That's
know
just
what
an easy
logical and critical
question.
thinking is? Hold up,
Is
no.
10?
Do you not know what logical and critical thinking
Maybe if you
is?
panic and get loud, nobody will realize
I'm
that
not.
10
I'm not
isn't rounded
panicking.
to the nearest
I'm asking
3.
you.
That was just a yes or no
You
question.
can round
Is
down.
10
You-
did they round down for 10?
They didn't round down from 10.
Okay, so then they don't round to the nearest
Basic
3.
math. Hold up. Let's go through this together.
Yeah, basic
Basic math.
math rounded to the nearest 3.
3 plus
you know,
3 is
10
what?
cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high.
3 plus 3 is what?
6,
Plus another 3.
9.
Mm-hmm.
You think
And
this
how
is gonna
much is
help
left
you?
over? Yeah, how much is left over?
1. You should say boom
Does
or
that help you?
something so that it like confuses the audience maybe. It does, yeah. I mean, it's not rounded to the nearest 3. Typically when it's rounded to the nearest 3, if you subtracted the nearest 3 from it, you would get 0.
I think you're forgetting one thing.
The 1 left over or
No. In the Old Testament, this is how they did this. They didn't do math. They didn't do building. They didn't do construction like we do. You do understand that, right? Do you not understand that during different time periods that countries and civilizations do things completely different, or is the entire world just, not relevant, or because you only live in your world?
does pi have a fixed value or does the value of pi change from location to location?
The value of pi does not change.
Exactly, right? So it
But-
shouldn't be
but-
there shouldn't
no,
be
no,
a
no, no, no,
circle that
but-
has a diameter of 10 and a circumference of 30.
But other countries would do it differently.
Like who?
Just like
Name
how
one.
in America, we go by
Name a
weight. I weigh
country where pi is
155.
3.
And guess what? In the UK,
Oh, he doesn't
what do they
understand
go
units.
by? They
That's
go
so
by
sad.
a different set of increments.
You know,
No,
units
you
are
just-
going
you're
to
having-
cancel. You can convert these to whatever units you want and you're still going to get a value of 3. That's how units work.
Have you even hold up? Do you know how much they built it by?
How much they built it by? I'm not sure what that question's asking.
Do you know what they were building?
What they were building? Weren't they building the temple? Or like the palace
Yeah.
in this verse?
Yeah.
Does that help you?
No, did that help you?
Yeah, because you're still not able to resolve the fact that the Bible says that pi has a value of 3.
Where does it say specifically that pi has a value of 3?
Yeah, let me help you. So we have this thing, it's circular. So pi is equal to the
No,
circumference
no. Where did it say that the value of pi is equal to 3
divided
in
by the
this paragraph?
diameter.
See,
Would you agree with this that pi is
this
equivalent
bullshit.
to the circumference? Oh, it's bullshit. You think circumference divided by diameter is bullshit?
No,
think
no.
pi
What you're
having this
doing is
value
you're
is
saying
bullshit?
that the
You
Bible
really? That's
says
the
that
thing
the
that you have a
value of
problem with?
pi is 3.14.
Would
but
you
the
agree or
Bible, but the
disagree
Bible
that-
does not state the value of
Do
pi.
you, wait, sorry. Do you agree or
So
disagree
why
that pi
are you-
is the
why are you
circumference
asking a
divided by
bad faith
diameter?
question when you're not even asking the right
Do
question?
you want to answer the question or do you want to keep on dodging? Would you agree or disagree
I'm
that
not
pi is
dodging.
circumference
I'm not.
divided by diameter?
You're good, bro. You're absolutely good. You're just like
I
Satan.
wish I could say the same about you, but unfortunately you got like boiled instantly. You got like kind of spawn
right
killed.
because
You were talking like mad shit
bet.
in the comment
Where
section
does, Where
too.
does
I
in
think
this
if you calm
paragraph-
down, it would go better for you. I think
In
you should
this
probably take a
paragraph-
lesson from the last guest and, you know, eat your humble
No,
pie
and
and like
let me ask you a
concede.
question. No, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yep.
Where in this paragraph does it say it is the value of pi is 3? I'm not asking for you to do math. I'm asking
well,
you
that's
in
how you
this
would find
paragraph.
the
Where
value
does
of
it
pi
say
is with
that the
math.
See, the Bible doesn't say that. That's why you're not answering. That's why you're dodging the
No, it
question.
does say that.
You're
It
great
says
at
that this
asking
is the
bad faith
circumference.
questions.
It says that
You're
the
great at
circumference is 30 cubits.
disguising
It says that the
fallacy
diameter
with
is 10
logic.
cubits.
That is great, bro. You
Pi,
wanna
of
know how
course, you know, as
you
we
know
all
how
know, because we all passed our math
damaging
class.
that is for
Pi
human
is
beings?
circumference divided by diameter. So, you know, it says that pi is a value of 3.
Great. Where does the Bible say that the value of pi is 3 in this paragraph?
Yeah, it says that the circumference is 30 and the diameter is 10. That would put the value of pi at 3.
Right. Okay, and let me ask you this. Where does it say that the value of pi is 3?
It says that this, I'll give you the answer the second time. You know, I think you're hoping it's going to change. It says that the circumference is 30, that the diameter is 10, which would put the value of pi at 3, because it would be circumference divided by diameter, 30 divided by 10, 3.
So I have a question. In decimals, don't we round down?
No?
So like if it's 5.2, do we put a decimal right there?
No? Are you saying, like, do you put, like, the
Wow.
decimal point?
Yeah. Why?
So you might notice that they aren't rounding down from, like, a decimal at anywhere in here. That these are whole
369.
numbers.
369. There would be one left over. 3.14.
Oh, no, you don't want to go back to that. Do you think that's going to help you, 369?
They rounded down. They rounded down.
Rounded what down?
I don't know how you do not understand.
Rounded what
that
down? What did they round down?
Other countries do things different.
What did they round down?
The value of pi. How about that?
So, okay. Yeah, not granted.
Because 3.14, and then it keeps going.
Wait, so let's just get like this point blank question. You would agree that these are impossible dimensions, right? Like a circle that has a circumference of 30. So you do think a circle can have a circumference of 30 and a diameter of 10? You think that's possible?
It depends.
Oh, okay. Go. Yeah. Pi can be 3. W. Sure. Is there like some other point that you wanted to get cooked on?
Well, let me ask you this. Do other ancient civilizations have different building techniques?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
Do you have like
So
a
is it
substantive
possible?
point that you wanted
Is
to
it
talk about?
possible
Or?
that they didn't hold up? Is it possible that they didn't use the value of pi at all?
It's a question of whether or not the circle could actually exist. That's the thing in contest
The
here.
circle could.
The circle couldn't exist.
You forget. Hold up. You forget that there were.
If they were
pillars, so the
rounding
way they
down,
meant
then
to-
it would actually be 31, not 30.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying a building like that couldn't be made?
Not with these dimensions. It's literally an impossibility. It would set the value of pi at 3 for like the millionth
Hold
time.
up. God is outside the rules of causality.
You
I've
think
already
God can?
established that in
You
the
think God
comments.
can make like a squared circle?
Yeah.
Okay, well then your view is contradictory. You think that contradictions are possible.
I think God is outside the rules of causality.
Okay, so you think that a shape can have both 3 sides and also 4 sides.
I think God is outside the rules of causality.
So do you think a circle can have sides? If God made one? If God made a square
Again.
circle, could there be a shape that's both a circle that has both 0 sides and also 4 sides? Could God do that?
I believe God is outside the rules of causality.
Can I just get the yes or the no?
No, because I'm answering your
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
God is out. Do you know what the rules of causality are?
No.
Oh,
I thought you were, I assume you're
should-
talking about like laws of logic or something.
yeah.
Yeah. So you think God can do contradictions, then contradictions are possible.
Hold up. I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, you should probably run away from
someone
this
di-
point. I can't
No,
blame you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. So someone being crucified and being risen 3 days later, is that logical or illogical?
3 days later?
Yeah, is that logical or illogical?
You know, maybe they rounded
By
the
the way,
days
it's
down to the
crucifixion,
nearest
so
3.
it's a
Yeah,
so
I don't think that
well, see-
violates any laws of logic.
Oh, hold up. You just said, really?
Yeah, I don't think that violates laws
Alright,
of
you're
logic. I
sticking
think
with
that
that.
violates laws of physics. Is the barrier that you're going to run in there?
Oh, so you think that someone, a normal person, could be crucified and risen on the third day?
I don't think there's a logical contradiction in it.
So you think that could happen?
I don't think that there's a logical contradiction. So if we're speaking about like strictly logical
You're not
modal
answering the
scope,
question.
It
It's a
depends on
yes
the
or
modal
no.
scope.
It's a yes or no.
Actually, it depends on the modal
No,
scope.
it's a yes or
The
no
question
question.
itself needs clarification. So
See,
there are
do
these
you
things.
see
Whoa,
exactly
let's
what
just
you're
calm
doing,
down
bro?
there. Whoa, let's just
See,
calm down there,
no,
Malky.
answer the
No
question.
need for you to be getting this upset this early on. So there's these things
Well,
called modal
because you're
scopes. So
asking
things
bad
can be
faith
possible or
questions.
impossible for different
See,
reasons.
if
So
you
for
want
example,
gotcha points,
if
we can do
something
that
is
all day.
constrained by laws of physics, then we'd say that it's like a physical possibility or physical impossibility. But maybe the constraining factor is something like laws of logic, like it would literally be a contradiction. Well, that's going to be constrained by laws
Laws of
logic.
causality, bro.
Is that like laws
Do
of
you know
physics?
what laws of causality are?
Is that like laws of physics? I think it violates laws of physics for a person to resurrect.
But it doesn't violate the laws of causality?
If by laws of causality you mean laws of physics, then I think it violates those. If by laws of causality you mean laws of logic, no, I don't think that there's like a contradiction that follows.
So, do you want the core rules of causation?
Did you just like
So we
Google
can,
them?
like,
Yeah,
because
sure.
you just
Yeah, go for it. I bet it's probably going to talk about laws of physics.
core rules of causation. Clear link. Causal statements must explicitly connect the cause to the resulting effect. Specific terms. Use exact descriptors and avoid negative judgments like carelessly or poorly. Preceding causes
there
to errors.
are you
Treat
reading off
human
of
mistakes
something?
as symptoms.
Maybe you could just
Yeah.
tell me what to read off of. Holy
Laws
shit.
of causality. Google it.
Yeah, laws of causality. Is there like a web page that it
Yeah.
links to?
Just Google laws of causality.
5 standard rules of causation used in root cause analysis. Incident investigation state that causal statements must clearly show a cause and effect link, use specific and factual descriptors rather than vague or negative words, and trace human errors or procedure violations back to the preceding systemic causes. What is this? Is this the causality is the influence by which one event, process, state, or subject contributes to the production of another process, state, or object, where the cause is at least partly responsible for the effect, and the effect is at least partly dependent on the cause. I don't know. Are you taking this to be like something like physics or like a law of physics notion?
The law of causality.
Okay, I think
For
you're
there to be
probably
a
just going to be
God,
too
he would be
stupid for these
outside the
distinctions. I'll
laws
just
of
say it's
causality.
impossible.
Okay. So you say, but that's an illogical contradiction.
Which one?
The one that I told you where you wouldn't answer the question.
What's the contradiction? No, it's
Is
okay.
it
I think you're going to be
logical?
too
Is it
stupid to
logical?
understand the
Hold on.
nuance. So
No,
I'll
no,
just
no,
say
no, I'm
I'll just say
asking-
no. It's not logical. I'll say that there is a logical contradiction.
Okay. What would that be?
Yeah, the logical contradiction would be that these laws of physics are both going to be necessary, but also not necessary. Would be the ultimate contradiction there.
Right. Have you read Job?
Yeah.
Do you know what Job's sin was?
I thought he was sinless. I thought that was like the
No,
whole gimmick
'cause
is that he was
God tells him-
sinless. That, Job was like a
tells him
just
his
and
sin.
upright man. And then,
No, he was.
did he,
But no one's without sin. Do you know what Job's sin was?
what was Job's sin?
His sin was basically questioning God. Because
Which
if there is a
verse?
God,
Oh,
let
that's
me
kind of
pull it up.
brutal.
What?
In all this, Job did not sin or charge God with wrong, according to Job 122.
Job did not. Hold up. Read that again.
Yeah, in all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing.
Yeah, God charged Job with wrongdoing.
He did not sin or charge God with wrongdoing. Yeah, I know.
What-
I know
what
reading comprehension
version of
is
Job-
a struggle, right? You know,
No,
clearly
what
you
version
struggled
of
in
Job
math.
are you reading?
Clearly
Hold
you
up, no,
struggled
no.
with reading. You know, it must have been a tough go at it that you had.
Bro,
This
What
is Job
version of Job are you
122.
reading?
You want like the Bible translation, like NRSVUE?
can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you there? Are you trying to figure it out? You putting it together?
Questioning God. As his suffering dragged on, Job grew bitter, demanding a hearing from God, and argued that he was more righteous than God was treating him.
Which
Are
verse is
you- are
this? Also, isn't that like true? Isn't that literally true? I mean, hasn't he done nothing but good deeds? You know, doesn't he not deserve
Yeah.
any of this? It's like kind of
You're
like
right.
literally true that he doesn't deserve that. Typically, to
You're right.
deserve harsh treatment, you would need to do something wrong, but he didn't do anything wrong, especially not prior to receiving the harsh treatment.
Are you serious?
Yeah, what did he do wrong?
So hold up. Do you were with Job? You remember his entire life before he was married? Because no one's
I thought it
without
said
sin.
that in Job 1 is that he was blameless and upright. There was once a man in the land
But hold
of
up, blameless
Uz
and upright doesn't mean
whose
you're
name
without
was
sin.
Job. That man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and turned away from evil.
So was David, but he committed adultery.
Okay.
He sent
it
one
say
of his soldiers. No, hold up. Let me finish. He sent one of his soldiers out to die so he could covet his wife. So no one is without sin. Even if you're blameless, that doesn't mean you're without sin.
Where does it say that Job sins before? It says that he's blameless, which means that he would also be not deserving of punishment. Typically, when you're not to blame for something, that means that you can't be punished for it.
I hate to break it to you, we all deserve punishment.
That's not true.
Do you not know who? Hold up, yeah. Because Jesus
What
was
kind of
put on the
punishment?
cross.
Wait, what
He
kind
was
of
put on the
punishment do you
cross
think we all
because of
deserve?
you. He was put on the cross because
Listen, I
of
know
me.
this is an emotional
We're the
time
ones
for
that killed
you, but you
Jesus.
should seriously take a deep breath and lock in. What kind of punishment do you
I
think
don't
we
know
all
why
deserve?
you just won't. Death. We all deserve death. That's
Do you
why
think
we
babies
die.
deserve death?
Well, babies are blameless, but yeah.
Oh, well, Job is blameless. But you said yes, you do think every baby on earth deserves the death penalty? Isn't that like kind of like totally fucking insane?
Don't
like institutionalizably insane that you
do
think that
not-
every single baby on earth deserves the death penalty? Isn't that kind of fucking crazy?
Aren't you pro-abortion? Aren't you
Yeah,
pro-abortion?
I don't think that those
Are you?
babies.
Hold up. Are you? Oh, you don't think those are babies? So
Yeah,
you
I don't
get
think
to
that
draw
they're
the
morally
line.
valuable.
You get to draw the line.
Yeah, I do
on
draw the line.
morality, but God
Right,
doesn't.
right about consciousness. Yeah, that is right about where I
Right.
draw the line. Yeah.
Right. We're all with sin. As soon as we are born, we are with sin.
Sounds good, champ.
Because this is a
Isn't it
because
like kind
this
of
is a
crazy that you
fallen
think
world.
that, you know, I don't think that you deserve the death penalty. I think it's kind of crazy that you
Oh,
think
no,
that
I
I
do.
deserve the death penalty. You definitely don't.
I've cheated.
I think that your
I've lied.
self-esteem,
I've
that's
murdered with
pretty,
my
it's pretty
heart.
bad for you to
I-
cheat, but I don't think that that deserves like the death penalty.
No, I think the things
You would
that
have
we
to have
do,
a really
we
low
generalize it,
opinion of
and
yourself.
more people are hurt, bro. It's a
Hmm?
sickness of the heart.
Yeah, so you say sorry and then you try your best to not do it again in the future. You know, you don't deserve death.
Yet again, no one's perfect, so they'll probably do it again in the future. That's why we need Jesus. That's why we need God.
So, okay, I don't know. I
Because
mean, if you think that you
hold up.
deserve the death penalty, if you think every human on earth deserves the death penalty, I just think that's like an insane standard, right? I think that this is like
So
institutionalizedly crazy.
Hold up. So you think it's okay to covet another man's wife?
No.
Do you think
I
it's
think that
okay
you
to send a
probably
man?
shouldn't do that.
Hold up. Send a man to death to covet his wife?
No, I don't think you should do that. And in fact, if you do that,
Why?
you drift closer and closer to me thinking that you do deserve the death penalty because you're responsible for somebody dying.
Exactly.
But No, I
Exactly.
don't think that somebody who hasn't killed another person deserves the death penalty. And even in cases where people have killed other people, you know, I think you would need really overwhelmingly good evidence to think that the person deserves the death penalty. Like, it would need to be pretty aggravated.
Well, guess what? The devil's going to be the prosecutor. And he's going to judge each and every one of us.
That's your presupposition. It's not mine.
Well, no, I get that. But you ask bad faith questions.
Do you think it's sad when
Because
somebody
God
on
is-
death
hold up,
row
God-
is found
God
out to
can
be
do
innocent?
anything. Huh?
Do you think it's sad when someone who gets put to death on death row is found out to be innocent?
Yeah.
Why would
But
that
God
be
is
sad?
a merciful judge. Because well,
You
he
just-
was wrongly convicted.
Oh, was he? I thought everyone deserved the death penalty.
We do.
Okay, so what's the tragedy?
The tragedy that he was convicted for something he didn't do.
What if the judge was like, "Yeah, I sentence you to death for the crime of sinning"? What then?
Oh, then we'd all be dead.
Would that be
Which
just?
is great for me because
Listen, buddy,
Well,
if you're having thoughts
hold up,
about
hold up,
ending
hold up.
it,
If-
you know,
hold
there are
up,
people you
if
can
you-
call and talk to.
no. If
You don't need
you
to
said-
come onto
you said
TikTok
if a
live
human-
and have like a meltdown
No,
about this.
You said if a human, you said if a human or God, if a human said this, that all of sinners should be put to death. A human judge. Is that what you're saying?
Let's say that it's half human, half God. Let's say Jesus comes down and
There is
sentences
no
us
half
all to
human, half
death.
God. Hold
Well,
up,
otherwise there are
Jesus was not half
contradiction.
God.
Was he? Oh,
No,
he's 100%
Jesus was
God.
not half God.
Is
He's 100% God.
would you say are humans eternal?
Are humans eternal?
Yeah.
Everyone dies,
Okay.
but we
Is-
have a soul.
Is God eternal?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then we have a contradiction. You know, if Jesus is God, then he's eternal. If Jesus is human, then he's not eternal. Therefore, Jesus is both eternal
Oh.
and not eternal.
So God is one, but he has three divine natures. That's Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
We can just get the contradiction on the board and get you to reject the premise.
Did you
Okay,
not
so
remember
premise
the fact?
one,
No. Hold up.
Jesus is both God and human. Humans are, if a being is a human, then that being is not eternal. If a being is God, then that being is eternal. Therefore, Jesus is both eternal and not eternal. There you go. So which premise here would you reject?
All of them.
You reject that Jesus is both God and human?
Jesus is God.
Is he both God and human? Infinity
So
blunder.
when Jesus was walking, hold up. When Jesus was walking around with his disciples,
Wait, sorry, you said you reject all of them, so you reject that Jesus is
he
both
was
God,
God
and
in
human.
human form.
Okay, so he was both God
He
and
was God.
human.
He was God in human form.
Okay, was he 100% human, 100%
God,
God?
in human form.
Was he
He was 100%
100%?
God.
Okay, was he 100% human?
He was 100% God.
Was he 100% human?
He was 100% God.
Do you think that answering a question I didn't
He was
ask you is going
God
to
in
help?
human form.
Wow, hopefully nobody notices that you're not answering the
No,
question.
he was. I am.
Is he
was
100%
God in human
human?
form.
That's great, bud. Is
Oh
he
my-
100%
Bro,
human?
hold up. Bro, he was God in human form.
But is he 100% human?
He's 100% God.
Okay, I didn't ask.
Yes, you did.
I'm asking, is he 100% human?
He's 100% God.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're unable to engage, if you got like steamrolled that hard, I guess we could talk about something else.
Well, no,
Do
you're
you have-
asking a bad
do you
faith
have-
question.
Okay, well, you're like straightforwardly not answering it. I also don't
You're
think it's
getting
a bad faith.
but
I don't think
you're
it's a bad
getting
faith
your
question.
answers from other people, bro.
I'm certainly not getting the answers
You
from
don't
you.
think I know what
I'm
you
actually
do,
at this
just like
stage. I'm not
Parker?
getting answers from anyone.
You ask bad faith questions.
I think it's a fair question.
No, because
In
God
fact,
can
I
do
think
anything.
it's like an accurate statement of the hypostatic union, if I'm not mistaken. I thought the hypostatic union just is
God
that
is
God is
outside.
100%
God is
God
outside
and
the rules of
100%
physics.
man.
God is outside the
This
rules
would be
of time.
metaphysics.
God is outside the rules that He set forth.
I think you're a
in
bit
place.
confused. I think, this would be metaphysics.
I really am not. You just don't understand what God is.
Okay.
That's what it is. You don't understand what God is.
Yeah. And
You don't know
I'm just
God.
so angry
So how
at him.
can you
Yeah.
understand God? No. You don't know God, so how can you understand God?
Because these are stipulations that are posited by theists. This is your view.
So you have to understand God. Hold up. So you have to understand God for Him to be real?
No?
Is that
You
what
can
you're saying?
understand what theists think God is without God actually being real.
Right. So as a Christian, God can do anything.
You want to get fried on this one too, like the last guest?
Oh, I know what you're gonna do, but that's an illogical and no, that is a bad faith question.
Well, let's
God
run
is
through it then. Do you
fully
think
divine.
that,
He is holy.
Whoa. Do you think God is all powerful and all good?
Yes.
Okay, does God have the power to do things that are contradictions?
He hates evil.
Does he have the power to do things that are contradictions? I didn't ask, does God hate evil? I asked, does he have the power to do things that are contradictions?
Well, what humans view as contradictions aren't actually contradictions, but sure.
Like straightforward contradictions, like the cat is on the mat, the cat is not on the mat. The sun both exists and doesn't exist at the exact same time in the exact same sense.
Oh, then no.
Okay.
Oh, then no.
Sure.
God
So then
can do
everything that
even
God
that.
has the power to do, it's possible for him to do.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Do you think that God has the power to do evil?
Well, God did wipe out the Amalekites.
Does he have the power to do evil?
In whose whose eyes?
In his.
My eyes or your eyes?
In his. In yours?
In His eyes, does He have the power to do evil?
Yeah.
No, because God is all good.
Okay. Do I have the power to do evil?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a power that God doesn't.
No, He can strike you down right now.
But I have the power to do evil. God doesn't have the power to do evil. So there's a power that I have that God doesn't have. So he's not all powerful.
That's the broken part.
What, you mean the logic?
No. So you remember when Adam and Eve sinned in the garden?
Sure.
They fell from God's grace, damning
Okay.
the entire world to death.
Okay.
Do you not remember that?
Yeah, I read the verse.
So God can't do evil. You can do evil because you're broken. You can choose to do evil. You can choose to go rape and murder and pillage. You can choose whatever you want.
But does God have the power to? Because is there something that I have the power to do that God doesn't have the power to do?
Well, hold up. That's a bad faith question.
Okay.
Because you're saying
Do you just
that
say it's a bad faith
for God to
question
be
when you
all,
don't have an
hold up,
answer? When you know the answer is going to be a contradiction? Like when you're getting like fried,
are-
is that when you bust out that's a bad faith question?
No, because it is a bad faith question.
What's bad faith about that?
I don't think because you're asking God to go against His divine nature.
I'm not
That's the
asking
devil's
God to
job,
do
man.
anything. I'm asking you
No. You're saying
whether or
you
not
are
God has
saying
the power to do evil.
I don't know.
Okay, either he does or he doesn't. If he doesn't have that power, then he's not all powerful.
That's not
and if
true.
he does,
Hold
then
up.
it's
I
possible for
don't
him to
know
do
everything
evil,
about God.
which means that he's not
I
necessarily
don't know
all
everything
good.
about God.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to.
I don't
because
know
only
everything
one of
that-
two things is true. Either God has the power or he
That
doesn't.
is not true.
Oh, okay, another logic denier. I don't know. It's kind of crazy
Logic
that
denier.
Christians lately have just been like logic denier after logic denier. You deny that either a thing is the case or is not the case.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Who are you to question God? Who are you to no, seriously, listen. Who are you to say that God, for him to be God and all powerful, he has to be both, he has to change his nature and be evil. That's what you're saying. It's set up as a question, but no, it's a bad faith.
God's not
That's what I
real.
mean by
You're
bad
missing the
faith.
point.
Right. In your eyes, God's not real.
Yeah, he's not real because there are no real things that are contradictory.
Yeah, because Bro, do you know everything has a beginning and end, right?
You don't want to do that one. That's like a giga blunder. That would imply that God has a beginning.
I don't know if God has a beginning.
You just said that everything has a beginning.
Yeah, because that's the rules that were set forth. For
Okay.
like if an apple fell from a tree,
So does God have
Cause
a
and
beginning?
maybe. I don't know God. I don't know God
Okay.
in terms of more than what he has revealed.
So let me get this straight. Let me make sure I'm tracking your argument correctly. So you're saying everything has a beginning, but you don't know whether or not God has a beginning. You do know that everything has a
Yeah.
beginning, but you don't know whether or not God has a beginning.
Do you think that's a
It seems
contradiction?
like you should be able to arrive at the conclusion about whether or not God has a beginning based on the claim that everything has a beginning. You know, if God is one of the things that exists and everything has a beginning, that would seem to imply that God has a beginning. I think that you're not tracking the implications of what you're saying.
But
This
wait,
is like
no,
a pretty
you don't
classic
believe in God.
blunder. You don't
You
want to
don't-
say
hold up,
that
hold up.
everything
That's
has a beginning.
don't
Otherwise,
believe in
you have
God.
to say
So-
that God
so
isn't
how are
ultimate,
you-
and that indeed he's
Hold up, hold
caused.
up. You don't believe in God. So
Correct.
how are you going to
It's an
say
internal critique.
that you know that God has to have a beginning?
It's an internal
Or he
critique.
doesn't have a
We're
beginning?
reasoning based on your premise.
No, it's bro. I know what you're doing, bro. You're good at it too.
Thanks. Maybe if you practiced
You're
more,
you're,
you'd be
you're
a bit
really
better.
great. You're just like Satan, bro.
Wow.
You're just
Good
like
for me.
Satan. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, no, that's not good, bro. Because it's gonna send you to hell.
do you have like real arguments, or is this like the meltdown phase of your debate?
One day, every knee will bow.
Okay. That's
I
a
hope you have an
W
amazing day.
threat. Unfortunately, not an argument. Do you have
Oh,
something
it's
more
not a threat.
substantive?
It's a promise. It says so in Revelation. But I hope you have an amazing day.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I hope you get tortured forever. Wow. Some real love and stuff going on there. Kane Malice, thank you so much for the super chat. Ladies love a beard. Don't let them lie. I don't know. I think the problem is that it's like scratchy when I kiss my girlfriend. That's what she doesn't like about it. Casey, thanks so much for the $6.66 on Venmo. Beard is stellar, by the way. Thanks. I really enjoy the beard. You know, I think it's pretty good. I'm quite a fan of it. Get a grip. Thanks so much for the super chat. Evil is not a power. It is lack thereof. Your verbiage is manipulative to your agenda. That just doesn't seem true. To say that I don't have the power to, I don't know, like punch someone in the face, or like I don't have the power to, I don't know, like run someone over with my car. I think I do. I'm just pretty sure that I do have that power, right? I think that indeed you do have the ability to do evil things. You know, maybe you want to say that that's not a power, but that just doesn't seem true. Grimmy, thanks so much for the super chat. Curious on the pie question. Were decimals established in that day and age? I have no clue. When did decimals hit the Middle East? 9th century. Nope. I don't know. You'd think that an all-knowing God would realize that it's like a huge mistake to do that, though. You know, the all-knowing God would say, wait, no, don't write down the specific numbers.
I have a little Molly note
Yeah,
on that. I did ask the chat about this because I saw Grimlock super earlier, and a couple people did some deeper research, and they said that people did use numbers less than 1 as far back as 2000 BCE, and the Sumerians did, and other early groups used fractions and things. But I think that the easy answer there is just that God could have said that the circle was a diameter of 7 and a circumference of 22, if they wanted to say that like God was just trying to get close enough to pi.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. Although I think like the enlightened thing is to just not give numbers, or if you are going to give numbers, say it's like approximately, or that it's about this many, so that you aren't shackled with the implication that there's like this impossible circle. Valena, thanks so much for super chat. Helping caller, can you touch the speed of light? No. Mike Bowen, thanks so much for super chat. What is with all the qubit crash out champions? I don't know. I don't know why they think saying like, well, that has units to it is going to help them. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that learned that the units cancel during division, but maybe not. Dank Bird Gang, thanks so much for super chat. Louder means I win to these dolts. True. Maybe I should just crank up my mic gain or something. Dr. Fudge, thanks so much for super chat. Pretty sure the law of causality you were both reading was scraped from a self-help book specifically talking about how you should organize your thoughts. Based. That could be the case. I think I'm familiar with the Wikipedia page, although I think it's about like crisis tracking or something like that. Like it's not talking about like metaphysics. Daniel De La Noche, thanks so much for super chat. In the Old Testament, questioning God isn't a sin. True. Based. Chadrick, thanks so much for super chat. You can't put human limitations on God, moron. So God's illogical. If your belief is illogical, just say your belief's illogical, right? If God doesn't follow laws of logic, then your belief is illogical. You know, you can believe illogical things if you want. I'm fine though. You know, there's no point in reasoning with you about this if your belief is illogical. Daniel De La Noche, thanks so much for super chat. Also, Jews applied personhood at birth because they believed that life didn't begin until they had the breath of life. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. That makes sense. That corresponds pretty well with like the verses that seem to be doing like abortions in the Old Testament. Grimmy, thanks so much for super chat. Guest argument is just might makes right. Authority is also subject to accountability for transgressions. True. Yeah, I mean, exactly right. Like there's unjust uses of authority. It's not like anything goes. Tracy, formerly Ianto, thanks so much for super chat. Love seeing Ian in the villain era. W beard. Yeah, the only person I'm terrorizing is my girlfriend with my beard. Dr. Fudge, thanks so much for super chat. From a professional beard haver, it's the immediate stages before the hairs are long enough to be really flexible that suck. Long, soft beards are top tier. I think I'm kind of in that stage. I don't know. It's could be better. Sam Buondano, thank you so much for the super chat. What killed me when reading the Bible is God asking Adam and Eve after they ate the apple, who told you you were naked? I thought he was all-knowing. Yeah, the apologetic that I've heard for that one is that it's like God is like he's like humanizing himself to us, or that it's like a rhetorical question. But yeah, I mean, also like that story makes like zero sense to people groups where they're all like usually naked. You know, people who live around like the Caribbean, for example. This story would make no sense to them, or at least like indigenous people who live around there. This story would make like no sense to them. Manuel, thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo for the watermelon. I appreciate that. Let's get a big W for Manuel. I really appreciate that. I don't know, like Venmos are especially great because, you know, TikTok takes 50% of all gifts. YouTube takes 30% of all super chats, but I get to keep 100% of Venmo, and $100 is huge to me. That means a lot to me. You know, I finished my first philosophy course at a community college. And I'm taking another philosophy course this upcoming semester. This one's going to be about philosophy of religion with the professor that I've been, you know, talking to, going to office hours with. So I'm going to learn like a ton. And I couldn't do that without the support from you guys. It does mean the world to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's get a big W for Manuel. Thank you. All right, let's go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Doing well. How old are you?
I am 29.
Yep. What religion?
I'm an Orthodox Christian.
Okay. What makes you think God exists?
Mostly it would be related to the transcendental argument. I think that the transcendental categories such as logic and truth are universal concepts. and universal concepts necessarily require a universal mind.
I don't think that follows. So, for example, things like logic can just follow from essential properties of a mind, and then having any mind at all is going to require that that mind has something like logic.
Well, wait a minute. Is logic universal?
What do you mean by universal?
Instantiated across multiple particulars?
Oh, no. I think it only applies to abstract things like propositions. Like you can't say, premise 1 rock, premise 2 motorcycle, therefore conclusion, goddamn the sun. It has to be like propositions that are about things, but those are abstractions.
Well, hold on. Is logic itself is an abstraction, right?
Yeah, it's an abstraction of the structure of reality. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But whenever you're saying things like the structure of reality, first of all, are you like a materialist or a physicalist?
No,
Oh, okay. So you do
I'm like a
believe that there is.
Platonist.
Oh, you're a Platonist. Okay, gotcha. So do you hold to the like Platonic realm is where all of the immaterial forms are?
Yeah, some of them. I'm like a mathematical Platonist.
Okay, so what's the epistemic justification on the Platonic realm?
You're just asking like what's the argument that like Platonic mathematical objects exist?
Yeah. No, how do you know that there's a realm where they exist?
So you're just asking like what's the argument that they exist?
No, again, their location ontologically.
Oh, that's a category error. Saying
Well,
that
how's
they
that
have
a
a
category
location means that you're saying that they're spatial. They're not spatial. That's a category error. I'm happy to
Wait, but
justify their
there's
existence
a
to you, although
realm,
this
though.
seems like a derail.
No, well, I'm just trying to clarify your position because you're the one who's asserting that there's a realm, I'm assuming, above this realm. And I'm just wanting to know how you know about that realm. And then we can get into
Because
how the
mathematical objects
objects
exist.
Yeah, so what does object mean? What's the definition of object?
Yeah, just going to be some collection of, I don't know, properties that are conjoined via like some building relation.
Okay, but wait, so these immaterial objects, how are they conjoined in a building relation?
I'm not sure what that's asking.
You're saying there's immaterial objects in a realm, and when I brought up their location, you scoffed at it, but now you're saying they're objects, which means you're conjoined by building relation. So how are the immaterial objects
no.
conjoined in building relation? You can
So,
laugh, but I'm just trying to
Yeah, you just
give
like
you a
summarized
consistency
back what
check.
my question was. I'm a bit confused what you're asking though. When you ask like, how are they conjoined by this? I'm not sure that what that's asking.
You're calling them objects, right?
Yeah,
Okay, and you said objects have a conjoined building relation,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That its
So how do
properties
the
together in a
immaterial
building
objects
relation.
in the Platonic realm,
What would stop
what is the
them?
conjoined? What is the conjoined
What
building
would
relation? Don't
stop
ask me a
them?
question. I'm asking you a question. Don't
Yeah,
ask
I'm
me a
trying to get
question back.
clarification. I'm not clear what the question's
No, you're
asking because
dodging.
I'm not sure what would stop them.
That's not an answer to my question.
Okay,
So
well,
you're
your
dodging.
question isn't clear. So, I mean, you can ask like your unclear question as many times as you want. I'm just
Look,
going to
we
ask for
can- we can-
clarification.
We can talk about things that are material in the building relation. That one's a bit more obvious. Obviously, we have, atoms and the material that make up material things. But when you're talking about immaterial objects that you claimed have a building relation, and I asked you, what is that building relation?
Oh, you're
And
asking
your
what the building
answer is-
relation is?
Yeah, that's what I've been asking you this whole time.
No, you asked how are they conjoined via a building relation. That's a different question
Yeah.
from it's like asking like what's the further relation between them as opposed to like, well, what's the characterization but in the building relation? No, I hold the building relation as one of the primitives.
Okay, so what is the building relation in
It's a
immaterial
primitive.
objects in the Platon? What does that mean? How does that
It
answer my
means
question?
that there is no further analysis to be done on it.
Oh,
That
so
when
how
you
do
say that
have
there are
knowledge
things
of
that
it
are
and you
joined
can't even-
together because objects exist, there are composite objects. So therefore there must be something that is capable of composing them.
So you're just asserting your metaphysics and saying,
I can
"Trust
prove
me,
it if you
bro."
want.
That's
you want me
what
to
I've been
prove it?
asking you to do.
No, you asked me for a definition. You're confused on what you're asking. If
Well,
God gave you these senses that are reliable, you'd think that you'd be able to remember the questions that you asked. Isn't it
You-
kind of unexpected on your worldview, right? If God is like the guarantor of knowledge, why did he give you memory that's so shitty that you've like misremembered like 4 or 5 times already?
Okay, so you're having to go to
Is
this
there-
instead of
well,
just directly
wait,
answering my
wait.
question.
That's
so,
like a piece of data that's like quite surprising on your worldview. How would you account for that?
Wait, so now you're dodging from your
Oh no,
the internal
boiled,
critique
cooked,
of your
dude.
beyond weird
Fried.
neo-Platonist
Oh,
view.
that's brutal.
Yeah,
Instant
this is
spawn
nice
kill.
cope. Nice cope. Nice cope. But
Okay,
anyway,
are you
so
done having
how
like
do
a
the immaterial
soy-filled
object
meltdown, or
how does the immaterial object of logic get to your mind?
how does it get to my mind? Yeah, in
Yeah.
virtue of representing any specific state of affairs, there's going to need to be a specific identity that's being represented, which requires it to exclude all of the things that it isn't. Thus, there needs to be this thing that isn't the other things, which is going to require all the laws of logic. Otherwise,
so
like,
that's
if you
just
get rid
asserting your
of any of
position.
the
So
wait,
how
can you
does that get
summarize?
to your
Wait,
mind?
can you summarize back to me what I just said?
Yeah, you just reasserted your position
What did
that
I say?
things have
Can you say,
identity
like, word for word what I
that
just
are
said?
that are distinct from other identities, and that's how you know what it is. That doesn't tell me how that because
Why does
one
that
of
not
those
answer the
categories in the
question?
Platonic realm, it doesn't. You just
Why
reasserted
not?
your
Why doesn't that
position
answer the question?
because all you did was reassert your position. You
Nope.
didn't answer the question.
Yeah, by
So
representing
what
anything,
I'm asking,
when you have a
hold on,
representation
hold on.
of something, I'm trying to give you the
Yeah,
answer again.
representation is just you're just begging the question
So,
because that's
wait,
another
so
one of those
begging the
immaterial
question in
objects.
terms of which conclusion? You can
Because
represent
I'm asking
non-immaterial
you
objects,
about
by the
the
way. Like, for
immaterial
example,
objects,
you
and
can
you're just
have
reasserting the
representations of
immaterial
other
objects.
people. I don't know if you're aware of that. You think that the only thing that your mind is capable of representing is immaterial things? You don't think your mind can
I'm
have material
asking how you bridge
representations?
the gap
Oof,
between
yeah,
the
blunder.
immaterial
Move past that
objects.
one. Oh gosh, hopefully
I'm
nobody
asking
realizes that you
you.
blundered and said that the only thing that your mind can
You
represent
can
is
just say
immaterial
blunder. It
objects.
doesn't mean that that's what happened. This
Sorry,
is what
wait,
you
did
do
you
with
or did you
everybody.
not just say
So
that the mind can only represent immaterial objects?
I didn't say anything like that.
That's what you just characterized my position as being.
No, what I'm pointing out to you is that you're making a claim about a realm with immaterial objects, and you have those somehow
Mhm.
in your mind.
Yeah.
I'm asking you how those get from the realm to this realm in your mind.
Yeah, because as soon as you have some sort of logic, you're capable of defining any sort of axioms. And because I'm a plentitudinous Platonist, I hold that all possible mathematical objects exist. So as soon as you have some consistent set of mathematical axioms, there are going to be corresponding mathematical objects.
Okay, so this is all just gibberish. Do you not see how
Oh
you didn't-
no! Can you
Wait, no,
summarize
listen,
back what
listen.
I
Do you not
just
see
said?
how you yeah,
He
you
has nothing to
totally
say. He has
begged the
this is
question.
this is what you say when
totally
you have no
begged the
rebuttal, by the way.
question. No. I have a perfect rebuttal because I
What was the
asked you how it
conclusion that I
gets.
begged the question for?
Hold on. Instantly in your first sentence, you begged the question.
That's the sound you
Instantly
choking
in the
on my
first se-
rhetorical dick, by the way. Wait,
Yeah,
what
this,
was I begging
this
the
is what you
question
have to
in favor
do
of?
whenever you're losing.
What was the conclusion
so when
that
I
I begged
asked
the
you,
question in favor
let
of?
me, hey,
He's
are
not
you
gonna
going to
answer that
steamroll or are you
question.
going to let your
So
opponent
here's
talk?
what I'm going to
So
do
you
in an
don't wanna
effort
get
to
refuted
steamroll.
because I
I'm
asked
just going
him
to write
how
down
he
the
bridges the
question.
gap from the
What
immaterial
was
object
the
realm to his mind, and he
conclusion
says,
that
"Well, when
I
it's in my
begged
mind,
the
I do this and that."
question
You just jumped
in
to it being in your
favor
mind in the
of?
first of your answer, dude.
So, yeah, what's the answer to this question? What was the
Yeah, you
conclusion that I
jumped to
begged
it
the
being
question
in your
in favor
mind
of?
in the first sentence of
You
your answer.
jumped to it being in your mind in the
In the first
first
sentence of your
sentence. You
response
think that
of
this
how
was
you
the
bridge
conclusion
the
I was
gap.
arguing for? You think that the conclusion I was arguing for was you jumped to
I'm
it
saying
being in
that's
your mind in the
begging the
first sentence?
question. I
What's
asked you
the
how you bridge the
conclusion
gap
that I
between the
begged the
Platonic
question
realm and your
for?
mind, and then
Okay,
you
let
started
me
with,
know when
well,
you're
in
done
my
melting
mind, I
down.
do this.
Are you
How
done
is
with
that
your
not begging
meltdown,
the
or
question?
are you?
How is that not begging the question?
Okay, so I can just ask you the question again. What was the conclusion that I begged the question in favor of?
That the objects in the Platonic realm are in your mind. I asked about the
I
gap
didn't say
from
that they're
the
in my
realm to your
mind.
mind.
That's
Yes,
not
you
that's
did.
not
You
my
said, well,
conclusion.
in
I
my
said that we have a
mind, I start doing this
representation
and
of them.
that.
I didn't say that they're literally in our mind. That's not
Well,
my
how,
conclusion.
again, how are
So,
you
oh wait,
accessing the realm?
blunder, tracking failure.
How are you
So wait, we would
accessing
agree
the
that
realm
this is like
if
a
they're
pretty
in this
major
realm
tracking
over
failure
here?
on your part. If God gave
Is
you
your
perfect
mind in the
senses,
Platonic
wouldn't you
realm?
expect your
Wait, is
mind to
your
be able to
mind in the
track a little
Platonic
bit
realm?
better? But somehow, we're up to like your sixth
Is your
blunder.
mind in this realm or the Platonic realm, Ian?
Yeah, my mind is in this realm.
Oh, okay. So then logic's
I
in
have
the
a
Platonic realm, right?
representation. No, I didn't
Logic
say
is
that.
in the Platonic realm,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
No. Oh, where's logic?
Logic is going to be abstractions of the structure that underlies reality.
Is that in the Platonic realm?
No.
Okay, so wait a minute. So logic is not one of the universal immaterial objects.
Do you think
in the
logic
Platonic
applies
realm.
to concrete objects?
I'm asking you a question. Is logic not
doesn't
one
apply
of
to
the
concrete
immaterial
objects.
objects in the Platonic realm? Is logic one of the
No, it
immaterial
doesn't apply to concrete objects. You can't reason premise
Dude,
one
I'm not
car,
talking
premise
about
two
concrete
rock,
objects. I'm
thus the
talking about the
conclusion
Platonic
star.
realm, Ian. Follow what I'm saying, dude. You're saying
So
that
wait, but then it
logic
wouldn't
is
be
not an
universal.
immaterial object in
So
the
then you
Platonic
agree with,
realm, in
wait,
your
to be
view.
clear, then you agree that's not universal.
You're not answering my question. You're
I
dodging.
already answered the
Quit
question.
dodging.
I know that you don't
You
like
said
the
no.
answer. I know that you have
So
nothing
you
to
said
say about
no.
the answer. Okay,
So
yeah,
does
sure. So
logic
you
not
did hear the
exist?
answer.
So
No,
does logic not
no,
exist?
logic does exist.
Okay, where and how ontologically does logic exist?
Logic is an abstraction of the structure of reality.
Oh, okay, so abstractions are not immaterial objects.
No,
Then what is their ontological status?
they're conceptual.
Oh, okay. But is logic universal?
Across all minds, is that what that's saying?
Yeah, like is
Yeah,
the modus
yeah, it
ponens in
is.
your mind the same as the modus ponens in my mind?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they are universal. Can particular minds generate universal concepts?
They can share in universals, yeah.
But can they
They can have
generate
the
them?
exact same abstraction, yeah.
No, I know. We just agreed that we share them, but that we can both hold the same one. But who generates? What mind generates?
Who generates it?
Yeah, what particular mind generates a universal concept?
I think
I'm
that they
basically
all
asking
generate
you,
the same
is
logic.
logic made up or is it discovered? Is it invented or
discovered.
discovered? Oh, okay. So it existed
Yeah.
before humans.
No, that doesn't follow. So,
Yes,
for
it does.
example, there are like certain
Wait,
things
wait,
that
wait,
only
wait.
exist
If it's
at humans,
discovered-
but
wait,
nevertheless, there is going to be some objective
humans-
facts. Like, for example,
humans
the fact
discover a
that
thing-
human beliefs exist is not invented; it's discovered. But it only started being the case when humans existed.
Wait. If it's discovered,
Wait, do you agree or disagree
that
with that?
necessarily
Do you
means...
agree or disagree with the example that I just gave?
Say it one more time.
Okay, yeah, sure. You weren't tracking. Blunder number 7.
Well, yeah, because you're steamrolling,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna steamroll you right back.
So there's like objective facts that are discovered, but nevertheless only begin to exist when humans start to exist. So, for example, it's an objective fact that human beliefs exist, and nevertheless, this didn't start to be true until humans existed. Agree or
Wait, so
disagree?
if we're not making
Agree
it
or
up,
disagree?
and it's not outside
Agree or
of our
disagree?
own minds, then
Agree
how
or
are we
disagree?
discovering it?
Do you agree or disagree?
Agree or disagree with what?
The example that I just gave you twice, was that the eighth
Yeah,
blunder?
give it to me one more time.
Yeah, I'll give it
No,
to you. I'll
again,
give it to you a
you're-
third time. I know I've been giving it to you all sorts of ways, but I'll give you the
Yeah,
example.
you're trying to
a
avoid
third
being
time.
cross-examined. So,
Okay, do you agree or disagree that human beliefs, that we discovered the fact that human beliefs exist, but they didn't start to exist until humans existed? Would you agree or disagree with that?
yeah, human beliefs.
The proposition
Okay,
human beliefs
yes.
exist, is that discovered or invented?
I would say that would. Yeah. Hold on. I don't think that
Discovered or
you. I think
invented?
I would say that it's not either. I think that's a false dichotomy. I don't think that you discover.
Base,
a new-
base. Then logic isn't
belief,
discovered or invented. Base.
Well, yeah. Well, wait a minute. Is logic a belief or a fact?
Facts are the sort of things that you can believe, right?
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm making a
You can do
distinction
both.
between facts and beliefs.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, we could say that it's a fact that people also believe.
Yeah. So wait, and now are you going
So,
to answer my
to be
questions now?
clear, To be clear, then I'll just say that logic is neither discovered nor invented.
Oh, wait a minute. It's no. Oh, but so you're taking back what you said before because you
Yeah,
said it
I
was
mean, if you're going to
discovered.
say that human beliefs are neither
So you're
discovered
running
or
all over
invented,
the board
then
here. So you're
then
right.
I
So
mean,
it's
yeah,
neither
why not?
discovered
Right?
nor
It's
invented.
we do a bit of trolling around here.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is that a belief is something that naturally occurs from human experience. Are you making the same argument for logic?
That it naturally, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have different logic in your brain than I
No.
do in mine.
Nope, that doesn't
Oh,
follow.
okay. So
Because insofar
Oh.
as we have representations, we're going to have the same logic because the same logic is necessitated by having any representation at all.
but wait a minute. Is logic? You're saying that logic is a fact. A belief is something that a human comes to. Logic is something that is, I would say, it's discovered. You said was discovered earlier, and now you're taking it back. So
I still would say
How-
that it's discovered, by the way.
okay. So what are we discovering? Or is it coming from nature? Is it part of
Specifically when we
regularity
have-
in nature?
Yeah, when we have representations, in order for our minds to represent anything as a particular state of affairs, that particular state of affairs needs to have an identity, which means that it needs to lack its non-identity, the law of identity. That thing needs to be itself and not itself, the law of
Correct.
non-contradiction. So
No,
these
that's the
laws
law
of
of
logic
identity,
just fall
but-
straight out of. Okay, you're confused, but
No, that was
these
the- that
laws
was
of
literally the
logic
law of
just fall
identity, but
straight
okay.
out of the fact that our brains are representational.
What's the law of identity, Ian?
That an object is itself.
And not itself. You just called that the law of
So
non-contradiction.
yeah, can something be
Okay.
both true and
Anyway.
also not true at the same time?
Yeah, that would be the law of non-contradiction.
Okay,
So we
yeah,
have to get more
exactly
specific
right,
there.
you're
Yeah, I
confused.
agree that they're interrelated. I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. So let me ask you this: that
Wait,
were
sorry,
objects
what's your
themselves-
refutation of that?
Let me ask you. Well, no. This is very
Okay,
important.
yeah.
So Dude, were objects themselves and not themselves before humans?
Were they not themselves before humans? Are you asking,
Were
did they have
objects
like,
themselves? Did the law of identity hold before humanity?
are you
Very
asking
simple.
about like propositions or objects?
I'm asking about a metaphysical reality, Ian.
Yeah, they had identities prior.
Oh, okay. And an identity is an abstract object?
Identity is an abstract object? No, I don't think I'd make that claim. I think that
Oh, so then-
identity probably supervenes onto something like essence or like instantiations.
Oh, yeah. So is essence and instantiations an abstract object?
No, I think that those are going to be immanent.
So is it a material object?
I think that there's going to be essences of material objects and essences of immaterial
You're
objects.
not answering my question. Is essence a material object?
I think it's going to be immanent in whatever object that it's in. I don't think that it's. I
Yeah,
think
is
that it
it
can be either,
identical to the
depending on the
object
thing
that
that
it's
it's in.
Is it identical to the material
Nope.
object that instantiates it?
Nope.
No. Okay. So there's immaterial instantiations not identical to the material that instantiates them before humans. Yes or no?
Sorry, can you say that question one more time? There's a lot of moving pieces to that.
There's immaterial instantiations not identical to the material that instantiates them before humans. Yes or no?
No, not for material objects.
Wait, but you just said that essence is immaterial,
didn't say
not
that.
identical to the material. Oh, so essence is material?
Yeah, essence is material in material things, and
Okay, so I
immaterial in
can pick up
immaterial
essence
things.
and put it in my pocket. I
For
can
some
step in a
things, yeah, you
puddle
can
of
take out.
essence.
You can, yeah, you can
Where's
pick up like for example, the essential characteristics that are present within like this glass. They're going to be tangible. Like the essential characteristics that are present in something like a pillow. Like there's going to be certain essential characteristics
Yeah, are
that are
those
literally
things
tangible.
identical to the material?
Are they?
Yeah.
No, they're not identical to it.
Oh, but you just said that they
They're
were
not
material.
identical. Wait, are you asking? Are they identical to the entire object? They're not identical to the entire object. If that's what you're asking.
That are not
seems like
identical
you're
to the
going
pillow,
all over
are
the
those
place.
material?
Are you
No,
asking
you're
if
the
the
one
entire
who's trapped.
object is
You're getting
identical
co-
to
you're
the
getting
essence,
cornered.
or are you asking like is there some material thing that's identical to the essential characteristics?
I'm asking you if the characteristics, which would include essence, which would include identity, which you've already conceded are not identical to the material object that instantiates them. I asked you
They're
if those
identical
were
to the material
material,
parts.
and you
Holy
said
shit,
yes.
tracking failure.
So what? Okay, so what is it
They're
made
not
up of? What
identical
is
to the
essence made
entire
up of?
object. They're identical to some of the subparts of that object. That material
what?
things have essential parts. Depends on
Like
the
what?
thing.
Okay, so what is the first, so wait a minute.
Short circuit.
You're
So for example,
no, you're the
I'll give
one
you an
who's
example. I'll
stuck.
give you an example.
You're the one who's totally
so,
stuck.
for example, the
You're the
essential
one who said that
characteristics of this
essence is
mouse are going to
material,
be
dude.
the specific mouse components that allow it to convey signals to the computer. Those are going to be physical components, but they're essential physical components with respect to the mouse itself. So there are some physical characteristics, depending on the object, that are going to be essential characteristics or like essential parts.
Well, I understand, but we're talking about essence and identity here.
Mhm.
So the identity of a rock, you would agree, is not identical to the material of the rock, correct?
Identical to the material? Or that just seems like a category error. Are you saying like the material of a specific rock? Because I'm going to hold that the
Dude.
essential characteristics are going to be instantiated by that rock. That it's going to come down to some facts about like chemical composition.
You're gish galloping to
Oh,
avoid
no.
the
Can
internal
you summarize
critique.
back? Can you
So-
summarize back what I just said? Or are we not
No,
listening?
because
He wasn't
because
listening,
again,
of
you're
course, yeah.
dodging my question.
Genuinely
I'm asking you
brutalized.
to
Wouldn't you
directly
expect
answer.
God to
You've
make
already answered
senses
it, by the
that
way.
would allow you to
You already
remember
said it's not
accurately?
identical
Is
to
there
the
a reason
material
why
that
you can't like
instantiates it.
remember or characterize my position accurately? Why you need to keep on strawmanning me?
Dude, I'm not strawmanning you. You're
Is
just
there a reason
dodging
why
my
you keep on
direct question.
short-circuiting when you get called out on your bad faith
I'm not
tactic?
short-circuiting on anything, man.
You are.
I'm
You've
just trying to get
short-circuited
you
so
to
many
answer a
times, and
question
every single time
directly.
that you have, I've called
And
it
I'm
out.
trying to get you to follow a line of inquiry here,
So-
and you're running all over the
Well,
place because
that's
you don't
what I'm
want to
kind
get
of
cornered.
curious about is, I mean, wouldn't God design you in such a way that your senses would work properly, but instead here they are like malfunctioning?
Yeah, again, this isn't an argument. This isn't a
You
counter
don't think
argument
so?
to
Wait,
what I'm
okay,
saying.
I'll formalize it then. If you don't think it's an argument, I'll formalize it.
Okay, I know. I
Premise
want
one,
to hear from you.
the data of the guest not remembering is unexpected under the hypothesis that God is real and designed real and all powerful and designed the guest's senses to accurately track reality.
Okay, are you done?
If a data point
Come on, dude. Let's be serious.
is unexpected
This is what the
under a
atheists have to do, by the way, when they're
hypothesis, then
losing and when they're
it's
cornered by
evidence
somebody who
against the
actually can refute what they're
hypothesis.
saying. They have to steamroll them. They have to do this condescending
Therefore,
bullshit.
the data
This
of the
is what we
guest
get.
not remembering is evidence
Pretentious and cowardly.
against the
Ian, you're being
hypothesis
pretentious and cowardly. Can we get back to the
that
conversation?
God is real and all powerful.
Ian, you're being
and
pretentious and
designed
cowardly.
the
Can we get back to the
guest's
conversation?
senses. Stop swaying out to accurately track
You're the one that's
reality.
wanting to be a
Do you
pretentious
reject premise
coward.
1 or
the
premise
lulz.
2?
I want to get back to the
Do you
original
reject premise
conversation.
1 or premise 2? Otherwise, would you see the conclusion?
I'm not even paying attention to anything
I
you're
grant
writing down
that.
there.
That's also additional evidence against
Yeah,
God's
which,
existence.
by the way,
So
totally
do
refutes
you reject
your.
premise 1 or premise 2?
Do you think that identity is
Do
identical
you
to the
reject
material that
premise
instantiates
1
it?
or premise 2?
Do you think
or
that
you just gonna
identity is
dodge?
identical
Okay,
to
sounds
the
like you're
material
just
that
going to dodge.
instantiates
So
it?
what's going to happen is I'm just going to redirect you back to the whiteboard. Would you reject premise
Yeah,
1 or
okay.
premise 2 in this argument?
I'm not paying attention to
for
that, man.
evidence. I grant that you're
I
not
don't
paying attention
give a
to
care
it.
about that.
Listen,
I want
tell
to
me
have
when
an
you're
actual
done swaying
conversation.
out, and I'm just going to
So
redirect
you're
you back to the
hiding because you
whiteboard.
know that if we get back into the weeds of
The
that, I will
disproof of
tear
God
you
is
apart.
literally
So
on the
you're
screen in front
hiding.
of you.
You're
Is
being
there a
a
reason why you're
coward.
incapable of
This is what
engaging with it?
atheists
Or
do. They
this
can't
is what
actually
Christians
stay
do.
on
They get
track
blown the
because
fuck
they
out on the
know that
substance.
the
Now all they can
they
do is
know
talk to
that
the
the
audience because they think
conclusions
that
of
the
their
audience is going to go
worldview
better
lead
for
to
them. But instead,
absurdity.
what
So they have
happens
to
is
do
that they're
this.
just going to get shredded on the rhetoric, and they're going to have to
No,
eventually
this is
wander
if you
back. They're
could
going to run
shred
out
me,
of
you
things to
wouldn't be
say
doing this stupid
rhetorically, and
stuff.
then
You
they're
just
going to have
shred
to
me.
try to wander
Shred me.
back to the substance. But then, of
No,
course,
no,
they're
no,
going
no,
to get
no.
blown the
This
fuck
is
out on the
goofy. What
substance
you're
again.
doing
So
right
then they
now.
have to,
This is
sway
goofy.
the
If
fuck
you
out,
can
have a little
shred
bit of a
me, then do
meltdown.
it.
Just calm down. There's really no reason for
If
you to
you
get
can
upset. Do
shred
you
me,
reject
then do
premise
it, Ian.
1?
I'm
Do you
trying to
reject
have an
premise
actual
1 or
debate
premise
with you
2?
here.
Yeah, here, wait,
Yeah,
here it
so
is.
you don't
It's on
have
the screen in
anything
front of you.
against what I'm trying. You're
It's on the
trying
screen
to
in front of
dodge.
you.
You're trying to avoid
The
the actual
refutation is on
conversation
the screen in front
because
of
you're being
you.
a coward.
It's on the
You're
screen
being
in
a
front.
coward,
Literally
dude.
look up and read. Are you not
If
able to
you can
read?
shred me, do it.
It's on the screen in front of you.
No, this is your goofy audience throwing
It's
your
on the
audience a bone.
screen in
Like, I'm
front of
not
you. Do you
losing.
reject
Look, I
premise
can
1 or
embarrass him.
premise 2?
Have a
Do you
conversation about
reject
the
premise 1 or
substance.
premise 2?
So you're not going to
Do
have
you
a
reject
conversation
premise
about the
1 or
substance.
premise 2?
So you're not going to have a
This is a
conversation about the
substantive
substance.
point. It's right there in front of you. The
It's
substantive
not
point is in front
substantive
of
to
you.
anything. It's
You don't
it's
think that
about
this
my
follows a valid
memory
inference
and
rule?
how my God
Wait, does this follow a
didn't
valid?
give me
Does
a good
the
memory.
argument follow
Let's
a
have
valid
an
inference
actual
rule?
conversation, Ian.
Does it
You're
follow a
showing your
valid
colors,
inference rule?
Ian. You're showing the true atheist
Does
colors,
it
Ian.
follow a valid inference rule?
I'm not going to do this.
Does it follow
have
a
an actual
valid inference rule?
conversation.
Yes or no?
Let's have a
Does it
conversation.
follow a valid inference rule? Yes or no?
What's your epistemic
Does it
justification for
follow
validity?
a valid inference rule?
Is validity
Yes
objective,
or
Ian?
no?
Is validity
Does
objective?
it follow a valid
validity
inference
objective?
rule? Yes or no? Which premise?
Is validity
Okay,
objective?
okay. This guy is just
Yeah,
totally
he's got
uninterested
nothing.
in
He's
actually
got
engaging.
nothing. And watch, he's gonna kick me.
In
He's
fact, I
gonna
have
run. He's a
something.
coward.
I have something so devastating that you won't even read it because you know it refutes you.
I want to get back to our original conversation.
It's
You couldn't
literally on the
refute
board.
your
I
way
read
out
out
of
the
a wet
argument.
paper
Why
bag,
can't you
Ian.
respond to it?
You couldn't refute your
Is
way
there a
out of a
reason-
wet paper bag, Ian.
Then wait, then respond to the argument. If the argument doesn't
It's
refute
not
you, then
about
respond
what.
to
It's
it.
not about the
Reject your premise.
epistemic
If the-
justification for logic
the
and whether or
it
not an
literally is.
atheistic,
It's quite literally about that. It's
epistemically
about the
autonomous
hypothesis
position
that
can
an
do it.
all-powerful God designed your senses to accurately track reality. It's actually directly about that.
No, this is goofy
That's
and
another
ridiculous.
blunder on your part, by the way. Another tracking failure from you.
Wait, let me ask you this.
Brutal.
So does metaphysics inform epistemology?
Sir, do you want to reject a premise, or do you think that I'm going to
not
let you
doing
pivot?
that. We can get back to the
So
original
here's
conversation,
what we're gonna
or you can
do. We're
concede you're a
gonna
coward.
throw up like the dodge counter. So the question on the
You're
board.
dodging doing this entire thing.
What's
right
one
now.
question
That's
that
the
you
funny
asked
part.
that I haven't answered?
I asked
Fucking
you,
Spawn killed
is
again.
identity identical to the material that instantiates it?
Is identity identical to the material that instantiates it? You didn't ask that. You
Yes,
asked, is the
ident-
essence identical?
I asked you that like
That's
three
another tracking.
times.
That's another memory
It
error,
could be
by the way.
any
You
of
asked,
them.
is
It could
the
be
essence
any
identical to the
of
material?
abstract
Do you think that
categories
identity
in
is
your
identical
words.
to essence?
Do I think that
Brutal.
identity is identical to essence?
This guy keeps on short circuiting.
No,
yeah.
I think that those are two
Sure.
distinct
Wait,
different things.
then you would have to agree that you actually didn't ask that question. You asked, is essence identical to the material that instantiates it, which is a separate question from the
I
one
could
that you
ask
claimed
the
I didn't
same. I
answer.
could ask any of them. I asked you that as well too. by
You
the way.
didn't. You can just
Yes, I
rewatch
did.
the
You
clip.
can run it
It's all-
back.
It's all
I
on
absolutely did.
recording.
Yeah, I know.
You can just go
I'll
check that
go
one
back
out.
and I'll show you that I did.
Yeah,
and
please. please,
steamroll to avoid
by
being
by all
internally
means.
critiqued.
But so here's the question:
And this is
uh,
what you do.
which premise
No, quit dodging.
of the argument do you reject? And then we got the
You're
dodge
not making an
counter.
argument relevant to your own prompt.
It is.
So,
This is evidence
No,
against
it's
God's
not.
existence, is it not? If the argument's true, if the argument is sound, would it be evidence against God's existence?
I mean, I guess maybe,
Sure,
but it has
then it is
nothing to do with the
relevant.
conversation
Yeah,
we were having.
wait, so then we agree that it
This
is
is about
relevant.
me. This is about
That
you
was a
going.
blunder.
Oh,
You said it wasn't relevant to the
you
prompt, but
didn't
it is
hear
relevant to the
the
prompt.
last
Oops,
thing in my
blunder.
steamroll, so I'm going
So
to do
wait,
this
were you wrong about that,
satirical
or
argument. I'm not playing this game
yeah,
with
he
you,
was
man.
wrong. I know, because every time you
This is
try to
the
actually
you're
engage
not
with it, you get shredded
you're not
instantly.
even
Like what
talking about
happened just
anything
now, you
substantive at
tried to
all. You're
engage
just
with the
trolling.
conclusion for just a second, and you got
You're
like
just
spawn killed on
trolling
it.
because you
Like
have nothing
genuinely
left.
spawn killed on it. So here's the
No,
question.
you
Let's get
knew
that
you were
first
getting
dodge on the
cornered,
board.
so now
Which
you're
premise
spurting
of the
out with
argument do you reject?
satire
Do you
to
reject premise
avoid being
one, that the
exposed
data
as
the
a
guest
pseudo
not
intellectual.
remembering is unexpected under the hypothesis
You're
that the guest
spurting
or
out
that
with
God is real?
satirical
Whoa,
trolls to
let's just
avoid
calm
being
down there, mouth
exposed as a
breather. No need
pseudo
for you to get
intellectual.
upset. Just chill
I'm
the
not
fuck
upset.
out.
I just wish that you
Are
would
you
have a
sure?
substantive conversation.
You haven't been
Because
you haven't stopped
it's funny
chilling out
if
this entire
everybody goes
time.
to YouTube
If you're not
and
upset,
types
then why don't
in
you just reject the
allegedly Ian and
premise?
Bryce J. Ian is so polite and he's so kind. And oh, I never thought of it that way.
This guy's so
Oh,
mad.
but then when somebody else comes up on his live, he spurgs out and tries to, do damage control when he
Holy
gets cornered.
fuck, this guy's big mad. I'm
I'm not
sorry
mad
that
at
you got
all.
like
I just am
steamrolled, and I'm sorry
exposing
that the
you at
debate
your
didn't
own
go very
game
well
by
for
sitting
you.
here
You
and
know,
not
I'm
taking the bait.
sorry that things didn't play out the way that you were hoping that they were going to play out.
They played out
Unfortunately, the
exactly.
argument that's evidence against
You
God
don't
is
you
on
don't
the
have
screen in front of
anything
you.
for
Is
any
there
of
like
the
a
points I
reason why
brought
you're
up.
not able to
You
actually
can't square
engage?
your
Sorry,
nominalism
what's
and your
one question that you
Neoplatonism
asked? What's one
with
question that
actual
you
internal
asked that I
critique.
didn't answer? Also, I'm not a nominalist. That's the 10th blunder.
Well, I think that you
Did I
would
say I was
be.
a nominalist?
You have
or-
to. You have to be
Why?
when we get to the end of the internal
Why?
critique, but you won't let it
Why?
get there because you're spurting
Why
out.
do I have to be a nominalist? What's the argument? Actually, in fact,
Because you
let me
can't
write that
defend your
down.
own
We'll do.
Neoplatonism.
Therefore, Ian is a nominalist. So let's get the syllogism on the board. What's
I don't
the
know that you
syllogism?
hold specifically to nominalism, but it will
Premise
reduce
one,
to
I
nominalism by the
don't
end of the internal
know
critique.
that you hold
Yeah, here we go. So this is what he's doing.
specifically
This is
to
he can't have a
nominalism.
real
Premise
conversation because he knows
uh,
he'll get cooked.
you
Everybody look,
can't
this is what your
have
hero
a
atheist
real
does whenever he gets
conversation
prepped. He can-
because you'll get cooked.
Yeah, look at him.
Everyone look.
It's all satire. It's
What
all
Ian is
dry
doing,
sarcasm.
it's all satire.
It's
Premise three.
gay,
What's premise three for the?
metrosexual
It's
accent,
all
dry
gay,
sarcasm.
metrosexual.
He doesn't have
accent.
any actual substantive arguments. So
He
about the points that I was
have
making.
any substantive arguments. So let me get this straight. So the conclusion you were arguing for is that Ian is a nominalist, and I have premise one. I don't know that you hold specifically to nominalism. Premise two, you can't have a real conversation because you'll get cooked. Everyone
never
look what Ian is
directly
doing. It's
called
all
you a
satire.
nominalist.
Yes,
I
you
said
did.
that
It's
the
on the recording.
conclusions
Wait,
will
wait. Let
lead
me
to nominalism,
let
dude.
me go ahead
I
and
said you
let's hit
can't
the replay.
square your Neoplatonism
And my
with the
nominalism.
nominalism.
You said in my
and with
nominalism.
the
Yeah.
internal critique.
You said
So
my
anyway,
nominalism.
like I said,
Is that a
and then I
blunder? Is that
clarified
misremembering on your
later- I
part?
clarified
Wait,
later
sorry,
and
wait,
said
let's
that
just
it
wait,
is
let's
the
re-listen. Let's
reductio
re-listen.
of your position. Do you know what a
Let's
reductio is,
re-listen.
Ian? You
Hold on.
can
Evidence
not
against
declare
God. What's
yourself to be a
what's the screen in front
nominalist,
of
and
you?
you're for
Is
any
there
of the
like a
points I
reason why
brought
you're
up.
not able to
You
actually
can't
engage?
square your nominalism and
Your nominalism. So he did say my nominalism. So and then you had to reel it back, but you said that you never claimed that it was my nominalism.
I
Wait, so do you
clarified-
acknowledge that
I
you're wrong, that you
clarified
actually
that it's at
misspoke?
the end of
Or
the
did you not
reductio that
misspeak?
you
Did
won't
you
let me
actually
get to.
misthink?
Again, you're
So
what you're
you did claim that I'm a
equivocating here is me
nominalist. Am I a
saying that
nominalist or am I not a nominalist?
You don't declare yourself to be
Okay,
one, but at
cool.
the end of the reductio, I will expose you to be one, but you won't let me get there because you're a coward.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so are we back to the substantive conversation now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great. So again, I'm trying to figure out how we bridge the gap between the Platonic realm and the thoughts in your brain.
Hmm?
When you respond to this, you can't be talking about the thoughts in your brain because that's assuming the fucking question, Ian. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's not a question. You're an idiot.
Well,
You
wait,
think
wait a
the
minute.
thoughts
If
in
I
your
say
brain is a
how-
question?
No, dude, if you're saying that the abstract
This
immaterial
dude's the
objects
goat.
in the Platonic realm are in your brain, and I'm asking you, how do you bridge that gap? And then you start with the gap bridged, that's begging the question, dude.
Yep. So here's the
Yep.
general strategy. All
He says,
self-consistent. Do you want the answer or?
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, yeah. All self-consistent mathematical objects are going to be instantiated insofar as that would make them possible. And because mathematical objects, if they exist, they're going to exist by necessity. That means that all possible mathematical objects would then exist. So if something is self-consistent, if you have a self-consistent representation of a mathematical object in your head, a self-consistent abstraction of a mathematical object in your head, then you're guaranteed that there's going to be something that corresponds to that.
Well, okay, so again, you're just reasserting your position that it's in
Can you
your
summarize
head.
the argument that I just gave?
Yeah, you said that if it is, not probably not to the same degree.
Okay.
I'll admit that, but I can give the
Then why would
roundabout.
you
What you're
characterize
saying-
my position as me saying that I just reaffirmed the conclusion if you don't even know what the argument is?
Because okay, if you will actually give me a second to respond, I can
Yeah, go for it.
demonstrate that. Well, first of all, what's happening here is now there's two instantiations. There's one in your head of, like, say, the number 3, and then the number 3 in the Platonic realm. Okay, so this comes down to like a one in the many issue, and the issue with universality, and again, where we start to dance around potentially whether or not your view collapses into nominalism. I think that it will. Is there more than one number 3, or is there only one number 3?
There's one number 3, and there are multiple representations in different people's heads.
Okay, so how does 3? So 3 in the Platonic realm. How does it get to our realm? And
We
then
represent
into your
it by
head?
having self-consistent mathematical objects.
Yeah, so you're just saying we have mathematical objects. I'm granting you, for the sake of argument, that you have this mathematical object
Yeah.
in the Platonic realm. How does it get from that realm to our realm, Ian?
Because if you have a consistent representation in your head of the number 3, you have its like structural properties, then
How
you
does
have
it get
an
to your
object
head?
that corresponds to that.
How
Because
does it
all
get
you
to your
need in
head?
your head is a concept of the number 3 that is self-consistent, and then it's guaranteed that it'll exist because all possible mathematical objects exist.
But wait. There's only one number 3. It's in the Platonic realm, but now it's in your head. Do you not see how you're
Yeah, there's
skipping
only
ahead?
one
I'm trying
Ian,
to-
but
I'm
there's
trying to
multiple
figure out
representations in different people's
metaphysically how it
heads.
gets to
This
your
is like a
head.
basic point, right? Like, there's only one
you're not-
Ian
you're
in
to- it's
existence,
going
but there's a lot
over
of different
your head.
representations
What
of
I'm
Ian in
asking you,
different
and you're
people's heads. So,
failing to
for
answer the
example,
question.
like every single audience member has a representation of Ian in their head.
I
You know, in the
but
same
Ian,
way,
Ian,
there's a
Ian,
representation
Ian,
of
this is more
3 in
fundamental
everybody's
than that, dude.
heads.
Slow down.
Even
This
though
is
there's
more
only
fundamental
one,
than that.
I probably do need
This
to slow
is
down
more
for you.
fundamental than
Whoa,
that,
let's just
dude.
calm down. Do you want?
You're-
Wait, can you summarize back just to
Slow
make
down.
sure? Just to make sure that
Slow
you're
down. No,
tracking.
because you're missing
To make
everything.
sure that you're tracking,
not
can you
tracking.
summarize back
You
what I
aren't-
just
you're
said?
the one that's
Can you
you're the one
summarize
that's not
back what I
tracking. No,
just
you
said?
need to be
Can
you need to be
summarize
educated
back
now.
what I just
You
said, or
need
were
to
you
be
not listening?
educated.
He wasn't listening.
I was not listening
Yeah,
to you
yeah,
because
I
you
know.
need to be
So how about
educated.
I
So,
just say it again then before you?
When I ask
Okay,
you, how does
so
it
here's
get
what I'm
from
going
the
to do. I guess I'll
Platonic
just
realm
speak
to your
over him,
head,
and
you
I'm just
can't
going to explain the
respond
point
with, well,
again, and
it's
then I'll
in
just
my
ask him
head, and this is
afterwards
how
if
I
he can
know it's
explain
in
it
my
back to
head.
me. So
I'm
there's
asking
only
you
one Ian, but there's a
metaphysically how it gets from the
representation
realm
of Ian in
to your
every
head,
other
Ian.
single person's head. Like in your head, there's a representation of Ian. In all the audience members' heads, there's a representation of Ian, despite the fact that there's only one Ian. So you can have multiple representations of a thing, but only have one of those things. That's a consistent position. Can you
Okay,
summarize
how does
back
it get
what
from the
I just
Platonic
said?
realm to your head, Ian?
Because you have a self-consistent representation, which is
get-
guaranteed to instantiate.
It gets in my head because it's in my head. That's
Did I
your
say
answer.
that? Can you summarize back what I just
Top
said?
tier shit. Top tier shit, Ian.
Did I? I don't think I said that.
You said you have a self-consistent representation where?
It's a self-consistent representation of the number 3 in my head.
Where? Oh,
In my head.
So it's exactly what you
It's a representation of the
Blunder.
number 3.
I
It's
didn't
not
say
the
it's
number
just in my
3.
head. I just said it's just in my head.
Wait, sorry. What's the contradiction?
Because you're begging the question, dude.
Blunder. Fucking blunder. You said it was a contradiction. What's the
Dude,
contradiction?
you just so I asked you how does it get from the
Wait,
Platonic
you said it was a
realm into your
contradiction.
head, and
What's
you
the
responded
contradiction?
with it's in my head.
Oh no, so it wasn't a contradiction. Is that correct?
I'm saying it's begging the question.
Okay, so it's not a contradiction, like you said it was earlier.
I didn't say
You said it was a contradiction. You said what I said was that it's in my head, but not in my head. That's how you
not what I
characterized my
said. Now
position.
Now
It
you're the
is.
one not listening. I literally never said that.
Okay,
Go,
that's
run that
fine.
back.
You want
Run
to?
that back. No,
Yeah,
no,
let's
no.
run it
You
back.
recorded me earlier. Run that back. Run it where I said it was a
One
contradiction. I dare you.
Is that correct?
I'm saying it's begging.
It's a representation of the
Blunder.
number 3.
I
It's
didn't
not
say
the.
that. You
You won't
said
find
have
it.
Self-consistent representation where?
It's a self-consistent representation of the number 3 in my head.
Where? Oh,
In my head.
So it's exactly what you...
It's a representation of the
Blunder.
number 3.
I
It's
didn't
not
say
the
it's
number
just
3.
In my head. I just said it's just in my head.
Wait, yeah, exactly. I didn't say it's in my head. I just said it's it's not in my head.
No, I know. Okay, so what
Oh,
I'm saying
brutal.
is
So you did say it's a
said-
contradiction.
No, 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 no.
Oh
I'm not
no,
saying
another
that what
blunder. What
you're-
are we on to, like blunder
No,
number
no, no, no,
11?
no, no, no.
I guess
I'm
we'll
not
take the
saying
blunder
that
off of the
your
Ian category
claim
and
was
put
a
it onto the Eli
contradiction.
category.
I'm not
Fucking
saying
brutal,
that your-
dude.
Hold on.
Oh,
hold on.
genuinely
I'm not saying
devastating
that
every
your
single
claim
time
wasn't It
too.
was a contradiction. I'm saying
Is
that you
was that not a contradiction? Would it be a contradiction if you
you-
said it's in your head and not in your head? Is that a
the
contradiction?
contradiction was you
Is that a
saying
contradiction,
that you're
yes or
not
no?
begging the question.
Is that a
when you were begging the
contradiction? Yes
question.
or no? Is that a contradiction?
Not your original claim,
Is
but
it
you
a
said that you
contradiction?
weren't
Okay,
begging
he's
the
not going to
question.
answer. He
Dude,
got
you're
blown
not-
the
you're
fuck
totally
out. Now
missing
this
it.
is all he has.
You're not getting blown out.
Do you?
You're the guy who
So
literally
here's
begged
the
the
question:
Here's-
Is it a
here's what
contradiction
happened.
to say that
I
something is in your?
asked
Yeah,
him,
he's trying to
how
explain
does
his way
it
out
get
of
from-
it. You know, you
Here's
can
what
try to
happened.
explain your way out of this. You know, but every single person's seeing you fail the track.
Because you said
Is it
that
a
you didn't
contradiction
say
or is
that.
it not a contradiction
You
to say
said
that it's
you
in
didn't
your
say
head
it.
and
It
not
was
in
a
your head?
contradiction for you to
Okay,
say
he's going to
that
soy
you
out
said
more.
the thing, or that you
He's
didn't say
trying
the
to
thing
dig
that
his
you
way
did
out of this
say.
dog shit debate
That's a
performance.
contradiction.
You'll literally be
That's a
laying in your
contradiction.
bed at night, staring at the ceiling, thinking
Yeah,
about
see,
this
this
dog
is
shit
all you
debate
got, dude.
performance.
This is all you got. You think that this is what debating is just like, you know,
It wasn't a
doing
contradiction,
these dry
you know, it was a
humor, retarded
contradiction.
things and not actually dealing with what we're
Fucking
talking about
brutal,
here.
genuinely
Dude,
devastating.
I asked you, how does it get from the platonic realm
And I've
to
answered you
your
like
head?
4 or 5
And your
times.
answer was, it's in my head. I said,
That
you
you
can't
form
start
a
your answer with it being in your
self-consistent
head.
concept of a
So you
numeric
just so
entity
humans
with
are
structural
summoning
properties.
things in their mind from the platonic realm, like magic, like we
Sorry, say
summon
it
it
again?
from. So we summon things from the platonic realm.
No, you form concepts of things,
how
and then
does
it
it get to
can
your
match
head?
to the platonic
How are you
realm.
Where are you
Because you
forming
can
this in your
combine
mind?
various properties into one object, and if those properties are self-consistent and they're
So you're-
numeric, then there's going to be a
Are
mathematical
properties in the
object that
platonic
corresponds
realm?
to it.
Wait, are properties in the platonic realm?
Yeah, we
Ian?
could say that properties. It's like some of the
okay,
properties,
so wait,
the numeric
but then
properties.
you form the properties in your head. Before you
Yeah,
form the
yeah, you
properties
form
in your
the-
head, how does the property get
You
from
can
the realm
represent
to
the
your fucking
numeric.
head
You
to
can
form it?
abstract the numeric properties.
So again, are you accessing the platonic realm with your
You are
mind?
abstracting the structure of reality.
Are you accessing the platonic
You are
realm with your mind?
abstracting the structure of reality.
So yeah, he doesn't want to answer. Again, this is cowardly
That
behavior.
is an answer.
Are you
You're
accessing
abstracting the
platonic
structure of
realm? This is a
reality.
yes or no question. This is a yes or no question,
Yes,
Ian.
you
Are you
are.
scared?
Yes, you are. You are
You're
abstracting.
accessing. Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
you are abstracting the structural. Yeah,
Abstracting is a verb that
is
you're
a
doing
is
with your
a is
mind that
a
gives
is
you
a
access to the
short
platonic
circuit.
realm.
W.
Okay, hold on. This doesn't make any sense, dude. You're
I bet a
making
lot of
all
things
of
don't
these
make sense to you.
metaphysical claims, and you're just asserting them. I want to know metaphysically
I
speaking.
gave you multiple arguments.
You haven't given any arguments.
Wait,
You've just
so
asserted
one
things and
argument that
begged
I gave you
questions.
earlier. So this was an argument that I gave you earlier. You're gonna claim that this isn't an argument that, you know,
Again, I'm wanting to know how you know that you're accessing this thing called a platonic realm. Metaphysically, what is going on between your mind, which I'm not even sure what your theory of mind would be in this situation. I mean, is that an immaterial thing? Where does that come from scientifically? And whenever you do this thing called abstracting,
Okay.
your mind is transcending this realm into another realm. This sounds very religious, by the way.
then it exists.
Now, can you
Clearly-
actually, okay, dude? Can you actually have a conversation, man?
If
Because
a
you're not making
mathematical
any sense.
object is
I want to know about your
self-consistent,
sky realm. I
then
want
it
to know about your
exists.
sky platonic
So,
realm. And
yeah,
how
I
your
know that you want to run
magical
away from your
mind
claims. I know that you're not
transcends-
actually interested in like
so
defending your
Ian
claims.
has
Whoa,
claimed
whoa,
that his
whoa! Stop
magical
slowing out,
mind
please. I
transcends
can.
this
I'm happy to.
realm.
Do I have my keys
It
on me? Maybe I could like
transcends this
jingle my
realm
keys
into
for
the
you.
sky
No, I'm afraid I
platonic
don't have my
realm to
keys. Maybe I
grab
can
these
pull up like the
forms via
dancing
abstracting
fruits for
so that he
you.
can put them
Maybe that would be
together in his
fine. Maybe that would be like
mind,
something that would be
that's
able to
how he
maintain your
bridges the gap.
attention.
This sounds like a
What do we
fairy
got?
tale,
Like the
dude.
dancing
This
vegetables?
sounds like
Is
a
that
fairy tale.
maybe
You
the dancing
believe that
vegetables
your
would be able to make
mind
some
is
progress with you?
transcending this realm into another realm
Did
to
I say
access
that?
numbers, dude.
Is that what
Yes.
I said?
That's literally what you said and agreed to.
I think
Yes.
I said that your mind is abstracting the structure of reality.
Yeah, and that's so your mind is accessing the platonic realm, which is not of this realm, correct?
No, I think I'm a platonic monist.
Who's short circuiting now, bitch?
I'm a platonic monist. Whoa, come down there. Well, I got
It
the
doesn't matter.
veggies
Is
for
the
you.
platonic realm outside
I think that
of
this is the
realm? It's
platonic
distinct
realm,
from this
moron.
realm.
No, I think it's the
Is the
same
platon-
realm.
Oh, it's all one. See,
Yeah, I'm a
now
platonic
you
monist. I'm a
said
mathematical
totally different
monist.
earlier. You're changing
Did
up
I?
now. Yes.
What did I say
asked
earlier?
you if there
And
was a
how's that different from
distinction, and
now?
You said yes, there was a distinction. So now you're changing up. You don't
When?
even know
When
your
did I
own
say
view,
that?
dude. This is what a joke.
No, I'm a
Yeah, you won't
mathematical
run it back
monist.
for you won't
So
run it
if
back
you
and
want
fact
like
check yourself,
an
but
example of a
I'll
theorist
clip
that
it,
holds
don't
the
worry.
same thing that I hold, you could look
You
to
can't even stay
what is it?
consistent in the same
Eric
debate, dude.
Steinhardt. Eric Steinhardt. Yeah. That's
Oh,
somebody who
here we
holds
go.
mathematical
Show everybody
monism.
that
If you want
know,
like Max
I am an
Tegmark, that's another
academic
person who holds the
person,
same
even
view.
though I change my
Yeah.
position on the fly.
It's the
Yeah,
same view.
Eric Steinhardt.
It's the same view. I'm a mathematical monist. This is like well known.
Okay, and then you'll change it when a debater corners
I'm
you.
sorry.
Just
I'm
like
sorry
you did in
that the
this
debate didn't
Good
go well
job.
for. Wait,
So
drop
now
in
they're
chat.
one
In
realm.
chat,
So
drop
now
a
it's-
1 if
so
you're
now it's
familiar
the
with the
same realm.
idea that I
So
think said
wait,
this
wait.
realm is the mathematical
So are-
realm. Like, just
So,
drop a one
wait,
in
are
chat
we
if this is
in
like
the
a
Platonic
well-known
realm?
Ian position.
So we are
Yes,
we
we
are
are in the
inside
Platonic realm. Yeah, we are
So
mathematical objects. Yes,
So
correct.
there's no.
This is like a well-known Ian position, by the way.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the
okay,
us
great.
being in the mathematical realm, that's a step too far.
So there's
What it
no
actually is
distinction.
that, you know, God sacrificed himself to himself to save us from himself after the, you know, the woman made from the rib was coerced by the talking snake to eat from the magic
Ian-
tree. That's way more plausible than the,
Ian, is
you know, we're
logic
all in like a
conceptual?
mathematical realm.
Ian, is logic conceptual?
Is logic conceptual?
Yep.
Are you asking about like the truth maker for it or like
we're
the
going,
propositions?
We're going all the way back to my original
Are you
argument
asking about the
here.
propositions or the
agreed
truth
that it was
maker?
You already agreed it was conceptual.
Are you
already
asking about
agreed it
the
was
propositions
universal.
or the truth
How does
maker?
the particular
Wait,
mind generate
clarify
a
the question.
universal
He won't
concept?
even
No,
clarify his
no.
question. He's
How does
fucking
a
blazing through
particular
it.
mind
Yeah, let's start
generate
from
a
the. Wait, I
universal
thought you wanted to
concept,
start from
Ian?
the top. You wanted to short circuit to the top because
Yeah,
you
we can
lost
start.
on the level that you got
Okay,
to.
Premise
So-
one: universal
Yep.
concepts exist.
Let me write down the premises.
Yeah, let's do a real argument here.
Universal concepts exist. Premise 2.
Universal concepts are necessarily grounded in a universal mind.
Are necessarily grounded in a universal mind.
Yep. Conclusion: a universal mind exists.
And by universal, you mean what?
Instantiated across multiple particulars.
Universal
Well, and then, hold on,
instantiated
I want to be clear.
across
That's for the universal
multiple-
concepts. The universal mind would take a slightly different definition of universal.
Okay. So oh wait. So then, why would I grant premise 2 then? What's the sub argument
because,
here?
Again.
Wait.
like-
Let's. Okay. So 2.1
yeah,
is
let's
what?
do this one by one. That would get more theological. But yeah, premise 1. Do you disagree?
Wait. I want the supporting premises for premise 2.
The supporting premises for premise 2. So you agree with premise 1, and we're moving.
That
to
doesn't
premise
follow.
2.
I just want to know what the supporting premise for premise 2 is.
Wait, why are you skipping to premise 2 without starting with premise 1?
Because you said that you're equivocating on premise 2. You're saying that
When
the
did I say I
universal
was
and universal
equivocating?
concept. Wait, so you said that there's two definitions of universal. So
Well, I said I would
universal
use- look,
as
okay, fine.
in
We can-
universal
we can
concept
stick with-
is this, but universal as in universal mind is what?
Universal mind would be more in the in the type of, since it's a being, it's going to have a slightly different ontology than the universal concepts that are generated by the universal being. Like, you would agree that the ontology of our thoughts are different from the ontology of ourselves, right?
So you're saying that universal, when you're talking about a universal mind, that means in the type of being a slightly different ontology than the concepts?
I guess I would add a qualifier that it would also be like omnipresent in a way that is personal.
Omnipresent in a way that is personal.
Correct, yeah. And then this would ground the universal of the universal concept, which I am just strictly
Yeah,
simpliciter
sure. Let's
saying is instantiated across multiple particulars.
yeah, let's grant premise 1. Yeah, what's the supporting premise for premise 2?
Concepts definitionally come from minds. That's the only way that concepts can be understood, at least in a justified sense, in the just going by Merriam-Webster definitions. A particular mind can only generate a particular concept. The type of concept is going to be dictated by the type of mind that generates it. So therefore, a particular mind could never generate a universal concept. All humans have particular minds. We need a universal mind to generate the universal concept.
Okay, premise 2.2.
I mean, dude, I've just gave you my supporting argument. I did it informally.
Oh, yeah, what's the inference rule there?
I did it informally.
Okay, why would I think the conclusion follows?
Wait, why don't?
Why would
wait,
I think
you
the
don't think
conclusion follows if there's no inference rule? You used to
inference
talk
rule
about
is
laws
in-
of logic and tell me which law of logic
yeah,
this
yeah.
follows.
This is the original arguments of modus ponens. When I support the premises,
I'm
I
asking
don't
for
need to
the
give you another
premise.
syllogism. for that.
Yes, you do.
No,
What's,
I don't.
wait, what's the
Says who?
argument that you don't need to give me another syllogism? I'll write down that
How many
argument too.
Wait.
So
this is the same
you
conversation I had
do
with
not
Monkey Boy.
need
Wait,
to
so how many
give
syllogisms?
another
Wait, how many-
syllogism for.
I could. I don't have to. For my if I don't give another
support
syllogism, let me ask you this, Ian. If I
the
don't give another syllogism to
premises.
support premise 2, does that mean my argument's
So-
not sound?
Okay, let's get this. So
No,
what's
hold on,
up, premise
hold on.
1?
No,
hold
I'm
on.
asking you a question,
hold
dude.
on.
Answer my question. Don't be
hold
a coward.
on.
Answer my question.
Don't
if I
be a
don't give another
coward.
syllogism
Answer
for premise
my
2,
question.
does that mean my original modus
if
ponens
I
isn't sound?
don't give a premise 2, Does that
Yeah, you're not
mean
even writing it down
my
right.
modus
It doesn't mean my
ponens
argument isn't sound if I
is
give an informal
unsound
argument
if
for
I
premise 2.
give it informally? What's premise 2?
A universal concepts must necessarily be grounded in a universal mind.
A universal
That-
concept must be grounded in a universal mind. And you're saying, and what is this? What inference rule does this follow? This new argument?
But it's not a new argument, dude. It's the same modus
No,
ponens.
no, but
Look at
the
you.
argument for the
All you're
conclusion.
trying to
So
do
it's
is
premise
nitpick
1.
over
Hold on.
semantics. Deal with
Don't
the
be a
argument,
coward. Answer my
coward.
question. If I don't give
You're being a
premise
coward.
2, does
I
that mean my
gave you
modus
my
ponens is
argument.
unsound if I give it informally?
I don't
Premise
have to
2,
give.
a
I don't
universal
have to
concept
give
must
my
be grounded in
supporting
a
argument
universal
in a
mind.
syllogism.
Thus,
It
the
doesn't make my
conclusion, you do
argument
not need to
unsound.
give another syllogism to support the premises. What inference rule
I
does this
don't.
follow?
How many syllogisms do you have to give?
Wait, I just want to know.
Is there a
Whoa,
0.4,
whoa,
0.5,
whoa,
0.6, 0.7,
whoa,
0.8?
whoa. Let's just calm down there.
No,
I
how
just want to
about
know
you
what.
deal with what I'm
Sorry, does
presenting
this
you?
follow
Dude,
like an
this is such
inference
a waste
rule,
of
or
time.
does this not follow an inference rule?
My original argument is
No, the
following
one
a
that's
modus
highlighted.
ponens.
The argument that's
My
highlighted.
origi-
What inference rule does this argument
Dude,
follow?
you're so this is totally dishonest.
Does it
I
follow
hope
an inference
your
rule,
audience
or
can see this. He doesn't want to deal with the
do
actual
you?
argument. He
Okay,
just
I
wants to
suspect
nitpick
this
over
doesn't follow an
semantics.
inference rule.
I got to get back to work.
I
Great
accept
job
your
exposing
surrender. You got
yourself.
like totally waxed on this. Like, I don't know.
Totally waxed.
You should maybe
You
like
can't even-
read a
yeah,
bit.
You hide behind dry sarcasm and pretentiousness, coward.
Genuinely blown the fuck out. Fucking brutal. Okay. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen share with your friends and all that good stuff. How much do I need to donate to make Ian, or to Ian to make them maintain a soul patch for like 2 days? What the fuck is the soul patch? Is that one? That's one of like the shitty ones, right? Oh no. It's like the fucking like, what's that one like game show host? Yeah, Howie Mandel. No, I don't know, man. That shit would be like bad. Also, it wouldn't even come in that well. Ricardo, thanks so much for the $50 on Venmo. I appreciate it. Let's get a big W for Ricardo. That goes so far. Thank you. I appreciate you. Round to the nearest 3 and reach with we to infinity. Divinity dependent, defendant's call, but all too soon, transcendence falls. Balls of believers, gnashing of teeth. It wouldn't be this way if they had justified belief. Keep crushing it. That's great. Thank you. That's really cool. I actually appreciate that. I appreciate the heck out of that. Thank you. Roblo Alvarez, thanks so much for the super chat. My dear Ian, if there's ever a live action version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 5 Golden Wind, I'd love for you to be cast as Giorno Giovanna. Ask Blitz, he's a fan. Oh, yeah, I've seen that guy. Falconhoof, thanks so much for the super chat. I don't need to formalize the argument, aka, oops, that part that wasn't in my script. Yeah, they forgot to put that one in the script. Brutal. All right. Let's go to the next guest. I'll take a few extra because Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How's it going, buddy?
Doing well. How old are you?
I am 33.
Yep. What religion?
I'm Christian.
Yep. And what makes you think God exists?
The fact that this live's still going on.
Okay. Why would this live not be going on if God exists?
Because you can really prove that God exists by just proving that the devil exists.
Oh.
So the fact
Yeah, how would you prove that the devil exists?
Well, the fact that if this was any other religion, you would be deplatformed.
I
for hate
debate
speech.
Muslims and Jewish people literally all the time.
Okay,
Hope
so
that helps.
why have I never I've been watching your TikTok for like 2 years now. So why have I never seen you say something like Allah's not real
Oh,
or anything?
yeah. I mean, if you want
remotely
like a good
close.
counterexample to this, you can. This is my YouTube channel. A Muslim
Do you
tries to
not
convince me God is
right? But do
real.
you not
Fail.
understand that this is hate speech?
I don't grant that.
So Google the definition for hate speech, and then Google the definition for racism, and you fall perfect.
Racist against Christians.
Yes,
You're
yes.
trolling.
Racism
You have to be trolling.
includes
This is too
culture.
stupid to be like a thing that you
Racism
genuinely
includes
believe.
culture. Christianity and Jewish is a culture, just like Islam is a culture.
It says
So yes,
racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race. I don't
where
think
did you get that
Christian.
source?
Yeah,
Where'd you
it's
get
like the
that?
first one that pops up.
Oh, so like Wikipedia, what?
Is this like a legal definition?
Because I've actually looked up the term myself,
Okay, yeah,
and
this
it
one comes from Cornell Law
clarifies
School.
culture.
Racism is the incitation of discrimination, hatred, or violence towards a person or a group of persons because of their origin or their belonging or not belonging to a specific ethnic group or race. Christian isn't an ethnic
What
group
is
or
an
race.
ethnic group and a race? If ethnic group and race is the same thing, then why is it in the same sentence? Why
I
would
know
you
some
say
people
that?
differentiate between them. We could do, I don't know, we could look
Well, I
up the
just wanted to
difference.
point out that this is definitely hate speech.
It's
Like you're
definitely not
definitely
hate speech.
you're definitely getting up every day and getting on TikTok so you can spread hate and upset people.
Oh, am I here to upset people or are you upset?
You literally are rage baiting. Like I've watched you, Jordan Peterson, or what is his name? Jordan Pierce? Jordan
Yeah,
something. Yeah, I
Jordan
watched you go
something.
on that and you was so angry, bro. I don't even
I
believe,
was angry,
like
or
I've been hiding in the background watching you.
wait, did you
I
say
don't
I
even
was
believe
angry,
that.
or
Yes, you was very angry.
did you not see like Jordan, what's his name, turning red?
You bombarded him with questions before he even got to answer the first one. Like before he could even
Well, it
open
sounds
his
like he was
mouth,
the
he
one that
was
was
asking
pretty
another
mad.
one, and then
I don't know.
another
I
one.
think that most people like he was like
I think that
in
both
that
you guys'
chair. He
blood
was like
pressure was
turning
high.
red. He was
Right, but
getting
your
pretty
blood pressure would have
upset.
been high too.
I
Yes,
don't
but
know
your
about
blood
that
pressure,
one.
you can see it in your face too.
Are you sure?
Like your face, yes, your face is just as red.
Oh, I don't think that's true. Okay, so hate speech is public communication that attacks, insults, or encourages violence and discrimination against a person or group based on protected identity traits like race, religion, sex, or sexual orientation.
Religion.
Okay. So do I attack, insult, and encourage violence and discrimination
Yes.
against you?
Yes, you was just
Which one?
mocking
Which one
dude.
of those four?
I was here the whole conversation that you was having with dude. You was talking to him like he was an absolute moron. You was just
Oh, well, he
absolutely
was an
just
absolute moron.
disrespectful.
But that's not because he was a
Well,
Christian.
I mean that's one thing to be like debating
Well,
somebody.
wait. But
and
let's just get super linear about this. Does what I do fall under attacking, insulting, encouraging violence, or
think it's-
encouraging violence and discrimination? Which one?
I think it's mostly the fact that you are spreading misinformation.
Okay, is that one of the categories?
But that would be also classified as discrimination too, wouldn't it?
Spreading
Like
misinformation is
discrimination could also
discrimination?
be.
It's
Well, I mean,
unfortunately, I mean, it
discrimination-
says encourages violence and discrimination.
Okay. There's been.
Do I encourage
just-
violence?
You do. Do you think that what you
How?
say is upsetting people?
I don't think that your feelings, I don't think that me saying true things and that hurting your feelings is violence.
So why don't you say it about other things?
I do.
Oh, so like you could like get on here and talk bad about the LGBTQ people and not get
No, I talk good about
deplatformed?
them.
So, no, that's not the point. That's not the point. I'm saying for just to see if you could. Do you think you
that,
could?
yeah, I think that you probably can. I mean, it depends how far you go, but yeah. I mean, lots of people are capable of forming like careers. Like Nate, for example, he has like an entire career of being transphobic. Like clearly he's not getting banned for this. It's just not true.
Well, I mean, I
think that
don't
you
agree
kind of
with-
have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I think that you're actually hateful. You get
Okay.
up and in your free time you want to get on here and attack things that people base their entire life on.
I'm
People
sorry
have-
if you got scammed. Like, I'm sorry if you dedicated your life to a false thing.
I'm not scammed. You
but me
believe
pointing
in
out
God.
that it's
You're
a
not
false
tricking
thing
me.
doesn't
know you believe
mean
in
that it's
God.
hate speech.
Right, I know you believe in God,
You can't know that I believe in God because
I
I
do, though.
don't.
but I do.
But I don't
I do.
believe in God. So that means that
Yes,
you
you do.
can't know that I do.
No, you do.
Prove it.
No, you really do.
Prove it.
I don't have to.
You don't
But
think
you
you need
do.
to prove the things that you're claiming with absolute certainty?
Well,
Hey,
is
well,
it
well, I know
illegal?
that you're a child molester, and I'm not going to prove that, but I know.
Oh,
I know.
that would be illegal. What I said wasn't.
I know. I know that you're a child molester. I just know it. I do. I know
Okay.
it. And if I get into the court of
That would
law
be illegal
for
and
defamation, I'm
possibly
going to sit there and I'm going to
conceived
say,
as inciting
listen,
violence.
Your Honor, I know it is. I know he is. Can't prove it. I know.
Are we in a court of law?
Nope, not yet. But you said it was
Oh.
illegal.
Yeah, for you to accuse somebody of being a child molester, yes, it is illegal.
Well, I just know it. I just know that you are. I have no
No.
proof. I just know that you are.
Listen, I have proof that you don't understand. Okay,
Do you have
I
proof
know.
that I know that God
Yes.
exists?
Yes, I do. I know.
Yeah,
that
what's
you,
the proof
he
that I know
exists.
that God exists?
I know that you know that God exists, and you're just mad.
Oh, prove it.
I mean, look at your YouTube channel. Look at your TikTok. It proves it.
If you looked
You've-
at my
you've been
YouTube
proving it
channel, you'd
yourself.
realize that I actually do debate Muslims, so you clearly don't look at my own YouTube channel.
It's mostly TikTok.
Sure.
See,
so
here's the whole condescending thing. See, like you think that you're
it's
above
hard
it.
to not be condescending to a person like you.
But
Like what
why?
you brought to me is like profoundly stupid.
Oh, hate speech is stupid. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
saying that this is
Even though
like
you
hate
read the
speech against
definition and it
Christians,
falls
this is
within
like
hate speech,
it doesn't.
but you read the
It point
definition
blank
and it falls-
doesn't.
did
Okay,
it
that's
not
fine.
say
That's fine.
religion?
Well, I guess we'll run you down on this one. That's fine. So I'm gonna copy onto the whiteboard the definition of hate speech.
Okay.
Hate speech is public communication that attacks, insults, or encourages violence
say
and
religion?
discrimination against a person or group based on protected identity traits like races, religion, sex, or sexual orientation. So the key question is this: what do I do that attacks, insults, or encourages violence and discrimination against people?
I've literally saw you with pictures of God standing on top of babies, and the topic being God likes to murder babies.
That's my
Okay.
free speech.
It's not though. If it incites violence,
It doesn't incite violence.
it does.
Where's the? If it incites violence, then where's the violence? Can you name one atheist mass shooter?
So the violence doesn't have to happen in at the very second of
Oh
the
fuck yeah! It's
speech,
exactly what I
does it?
want. Oh god.
Does it have to happen in the very second?
Gosh, I'm so glad that you're here, Hegel fan. We have quite the intellectual titan here.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Enjoy your hate speech. I'm not coming in here to get ganged up on by.
I can mute up. I can mute up if that makes you uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but okay. Don't you think that I have the First Amendment right to?
As long as it doesn't incite violence.
Does it incite violence? Do you think
Does.
atheists are particularly violent?
Do you think that people hear that you're talking about their God like that and it makes them happy? Or do you
That would
think
be
it makes-
violence on the part. Typically, the violence that's involved in hate speech is violence done against the group that's like the target of the hate speech.
It is. I mean, do you not think that people that dedicate their entire lives for something and then you're like, oh, you don't believe what I believe. You're stupid. Do you not think that that's kind of hate speech?
If me doing this,
Do you
and
know that
then
evolution is just as
somebody-
much a religion as any other religion out there?
I think that you would have a much better game trying to demonstrate that point than you would
No, it
at
is.
like the hate
It is.
speech point.
Science is based off of fact. Evolution is not based off of any type of fact. We've
What
never
about
proven.
that's a great substantive point. Let's talk about that. Do you think
Okay.
that the fossil record is a fact, or do you think that's like fiction?
Do you know that you can actually prove that through religion?
I just want to know, do you think that the
Right,
fossil
but this
record
is
is
old
fact or
stuff.
fiction?
This is old stuff. This is old stuff. This is
Okay,
already-
okay, sure.
There's
You don't
just
want to
as many
engage with that one
Christians
at all.
Believe that the fossil record is good, but they
Are
have
you one of
way
them?
of it becoming. Yeah. But
Okay.
the ways that it became isn't necessarily the case.
How
So,
would
for
you
instance,
explain that at the past like a certain layer, you can't find any modern mammals? Like there are just no modern mammals, and then they all start appearing after a specific point. Like how would you explain that? There's something called the iridium layer. This is like the asteroid
easy
that
to
came
explain.
down
Can
and
we not go on a
struck and
tangent?
wiped out all the dinosaurs. It left
Okay.
like a ring of iridium
Right.
across the entire planet, and there are no modern mammals before the iridium line. How would you explain that fact?
that's easy to explain. Do you think God made Adam and Eve as babies?
No.
No. Okay, so then what? Who's to say that he can't make an earth with age in mind?
Are
If he
you
can make a
saying that?
human with age in mind.
Are you saying that God made the earth with the iridium like God made the earth as if he made it to look
God made the
identical
earth
to it
exactly
being
how
like
it was.
4.5 billion years old? Then God's a deceiver.
Right? Yes. 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 I
Then God's a
believe that
deceiver,
God
so
made
God lied to
because
us.
he can. Because
Okay.
he can.
How do you know that God
So,
isn't
like,
lying to you
what
right
do
now
call
about
a
having this
day?
conversation?
What would you call a day in a
Wait.
celestial body like the Earth?
Wait,
What
sir,
would you
how do
call
you
like
know
they say
that?
God is like 1,000
How do
years to a
you
day?
know that God isn't lying to you right this second?
How do you know that the devil isn't lying to you?
Because he doesn't exist.
Oh, he doesn't?
He doesn't.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
But how do you know that God isn't deceiving you about your senses if God's a liar?
Because I have discernment. Because
Okay.
I actually read the Bible unlike somebody.
But how do you know that what you read wasn't just a lie manufactured by God to deceive you?
Because I had years of, because I've studied for years. This
But
is
how do you
7
know that
years
all the
into my
stuff that you
journey.
studied weren't lies perpetuated by God to deceive you?
I use my brain. Literally, if it sounds
Oh,
wrong, then I
fuck.
probably
He just
won't
uses his
follow it.
brain. God. Goat. Yeah, but how do you know that God
See-
didn't pre-program your brain to mislead you, to deceive you?
How do you know the devil didn't pre-program your
'Cause the
mind
devil
to be
doesn't
saying this
exist.
conversation? Prove it.
Yeah, the Bible is false because there are contradictions in it, and if the Bible is false, then the devil
Contradictions prove it's
doesn't
true.
exist.
The contradictions in the Bible prove
Holy
it's true.
shit. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So,
We got
like, if
JC
somebody
Beal
has
over
a
here. Let's
car
go.
wreck-
Christian dialetheism.
So if somebody
Excellent.
if somebody
Yo.
has a car wreck, so say you're driving to work, and then somebody has a car wreck, right? Some might say the car was red. Some might say the car was burgundy. Some might say completely, totally off the wall. Because I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the birth of Jesus Christ, how sometimes it's changing complete and total locations.
No,
But that
that's one of
actually-
many contradictions. That's not the one I'm going
Right,
for.
but that actually proves the Bible.
Oh.
Because if the car wreck happened and the cops are talking to everybody, their stories are not going to be consistent, which means you guys can't choose both arguments. One, you've chosen that people just done it just to see, just to trick people. So how do you think that, how many different authors? Like 40? How do you think that 40 people came to the same agreement over generations?
Do you think God is well, that's not the contradiction I'm going for. The contradiction I'm going for, do you think that God is human in the form of Jesus?
God is so powerful. See, the Bible explains God as one
It's a
thing.
yes or no question. Do you think God is
says-
human?
Right, but you oftentimes answer this way too. So am I not allowed? Should I just?
I'd prefer like the yes or the no.
Is there a yes or no question you feel like Ian hasn't answered with a yes or a no?
Well, yeah, but he then goes on his own little thing.
Sure. Do you mind answering in the same way where you
Yeah.
respond to yes or no questions
Okay,
with
repeat the-
yes or no?
Yeah.
Repeat the question for me.
Would you
I'm
do you think
sorry.
that God is a human being in the form of Jesus?
Yes and no.
Oh, there's the problem. It's a contradiction.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because it also says in the Bible, "Stop trying to think of me."
I actually think that this one's like, as much as I'd like to farm that guy for content, it would be much more fun to debate with you, I think. Or to like bring somebody up who isn't going to be upset if you debate.
Maybe. That was some high level stuff.
Yeah. He's saying I'm running, but could I both run and also not run?
Good question.
Towards Christ alone. How's it going? How old are you?
I'm 16. Is it okay if you question me though?
No, you got to be 18 or older. Come back in 2 years. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Yep. How you doing? How old are you?
I'm 26 right now.
Yep. What religion?
I'm a Muslim
Okay. What makes you think God exists?
because Allah has sent a messenger with coming with proofs.
Okay. Like what?
Allah has sent a messenger verifying the authority that came within the Christian faith, or coming with Jesus, son of Mary, and then confirming what came with Moses, and then confirming that what came with Abraham. Peace and blessings be upon them all.
I mean, I don't believe that stuff either. So, do you have evidence that that stuff's true?
There is a sign in Pharaoh, because Allah smited Pharaoh, and Pharaoh was an arrogant one. The same, and Allah left his abode as a sign.
Which Pharaoh?
Pharaoh, the
Which
one
one?
who challenged Moses. Peace
Which
and
one?
blessing be upon him.
But like which?
The one that
Do you know like
the
what's
one
the
that
name
Allah
of the
spoke
Pharaoh?
was Pharaoh. We know him as Fir'aun. That's it.
Okay, who's like the historical character?
Fir'aun in the Quran, he existed in the time of in Egypt when they had a massive empire.
But what's his Egyptian name? Not his title, like his
We do
name.
not know.
Oh, why would I
do
think
not
that he's real
acknowledge that.
then?
Do you not think so? Okay.
I don't grant that
do you
there's
wanna
this
ask-
pharaoh that got smited by Allah, obviously.
Allah left him as a clear sign, and he challenged Moses coming with the proofs.
What's the evidence
It
that
doesn't
this
seem
happened?
particularly clear if we don't know his name or like that this happened or when it happened.
I
or
told you
any of
his
that,
name.
right?
His name is Fir'aun, and it was Moses. And okay, so
But what's
Abraham,
his Egyptian name?
I do not know his Egyptian name
Then how can I verify
him
that
as
this
Fir'aun.
actually happened historically?
because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with signs.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so let me trace through the logic. So it's basically what you're saying is God exists because he sent his messenger, or he sent his prophet Muhammad to spread the message. And we know that that's true because Muhammad claims that, you know, Allah smote the Pharaoh. And we know that, you know, Allah smote the Pharaoh because that's what Muhammad said. And that's the evidence that God exists. Is that basically the chain of reasoning?
Allah revealed the Quran to Muhammad.
I wouldn't want to answer that
the
one either.
signs. No, I'm okay. Go ahead. Ask your question again, please.
I'll just cut to the chase. That's circular. You're saying that, you know, Allah. You're basically using like the circular justification that the prophet said that Allah smote the Egyptians, but then also the Egyptians, and we know that Allah actually did this because Muhammad claimed it. You're just saying it's true because Muhammad claimed it, and
we know that Muhammad's claims are true because Muhammad tells us Allah says that he's his messenger, right?
Yeah.
At the time, the Arabs worshipped multiple idols, and he removed all the idols and he established the worship of the one God. That in itself is a sign.
Oh, but people still worship idols.
You know, people still do, but Alhamdulillah, Allah guided us back to Him, the truth. He made us remember. He's
So
a king who sent a messenger.
Do you have
He's
like real
veiled and
evidence?
unseen.
I feel like we haven't gotten any real evidence.
The
You're just
evidence
like
is
the
book.
evidence at this point is just like the religion spread. Lots of religion spread.
Okay, do you want me to explain a sign then?
Yeah, please.
Allah says, okay, you brought up Adam and Eve, right? And so
I don't
when
believe in Adam and Eve, by the way.
Okay, I really don't know what else. I mean, do you have any like questions, sincere questions?
Yeah, there's a question that I have. There's a specific verse in the Quran that seems to just like wholesale steal a piece of mythology that existed around the time. It kind of seems like Muhammad got inspiration from like pop culture. It's the story of Alexander, and he's like he has horns, and it's like a bar for bar retelling.
That is Dhul Qarnayn. Allah says in the Quran about Dhul Qarnayn. Allah says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ. There's an ayah in the Quran.
If you're off the app, we can't hear you, unfortunately.
Yeah, you must return to the app.
Okay, there's an ayah in the Quran where Allah says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنْ ذِي الْقَرْنَيْنِ قُلْ سَأَتْلُو عَلَيْكُم مِّنْهُ ذِكْرًا. So that is not about Alexander. That is about Dhul Qarnayn. He's the and it means the owner of the two horns. Dhul in Arabic means to own. So he's the owner of the two horns. It's not about Alexander.
Yeah, but
that
it
is
just
a story
so
that
happens.
the Jews at the time were aware of this story. So then Muhammad ﷺ came to the Jews and they asked him about the story, and Allah revealed to him the story so that the Jews may turn to Allah and be reminded of the truth once again.
Yeah, it just so happens that they are taking this story that existed in pop culture. You know, it exists like right around the era of Muhammad. It's like so strange that it's like the same story beat, like bar for bar. He's exploring. He goes to like the place where the sun sets, and it also says, "Oh, this is kind of awkward," but it says that the sun sets into a pond. That's kind of strange, but you know, let's
If you were
let's set that one aside.
if you were to stand on the side of the sea, you would see the sun set. It was saying that's where the sun headed towards in the area. It's a
The sun doesn't
geographical
literally
area.
go into a pond, though.
It doesn't literally do that, of course. But
Okay,
if
it
you were
doesn't. It
standing on the
doesn't.
edge of the
There's
ocean
nothing
at
in
the
there
time, you'll
that
see it towards the
makes
west.
it
That's
sound
the
like it
Black
just like
Sea.
appears to be this way.
That is a
The
geographical
literal
area.
reading
That
of the
is
Quran is that it just
that is the
sets
Black Sea.
there.
If
It
you
like
had
sets into
wisdom
there.
and you are sincere, you would know that it's an area that Allah is speaking of, where the sun sets into the Black Sea. There's scholars who have went into detail about this area.
But the sun doesn't set in the Black Sea.
It doesn't. It
That's
doesn't
false.
set into the Black Sea. If you were to stand on the edge of that side in terms of wisdom, it's like if I saw the sun rising from the east and I say the sun rises over the horizon over there. You say the sun. Would you say the sun rises out of the horizon? With the knowledge we have, we know that doesn't. And even back then, you would certainly know that also.
Yeah, you would say the accurate statement to say there is that it appears that it sets there, but it doesn't say it appears there. It says that it literally sets there.
It's not okay. I understand it simply for what Allah wants you to understand it as. Is the sun setting into the west, obviously. And if you were to locate an area, Allah is pointing out an area that even the Yahud, the Jews, would understand and then verify that the prophet is a sign that this is a true prophet from a true messenger of the King God.
Well, I take
He's
that
a
as a
king.
good reason to disbelieve it. You know, it just seems to say something straightforwardly false.
You don't see Allah. That's the reason why you're in doubt to him. But
Oh,
Allah, I can't even
I'm
approach a
not sure
king
if
in this world.
that's
I cannot
okay.
approach a king in this world so easily, but you want to see Allah so easily.
Well, listen, if you don't have any evidence, I can probably just move on to the next one. Do you have anything else?
Okay.
Well, actually, well, here's what we can do. Do you think Allah is perfectly honest, like necessarily honest and also all powerful?
I do not take Allah as an enemy. There's no need for Allah to lie. Allah always told the truth.
Yep. Is he all powerful?
He created me. Of course he's more powerful than me. I saw the
I
thunder.
didn't ask if
and I
he's more
see the
powerful
lightning.
than you. I asked, is he all
And
powerful?
the earth shakes. I submit to one who's powerful. I submit to power. And I
Why the
know
fuck
Allah
is
is
this guy
very powerful.
talking like an anime character? What the fuck is this? I just want to know, is
Anime
Allah all
character.
powerful?
Of course Allah is all powerful. He
Okay.
created everything you see, the sun and the moon, the night and the day,
Does
the
Allah
earth
have the
and
power to
everything
do
within it,
the
the
impossible?
logic you believe in.
Does he have the power to do
Mhm.
the impossible?
Allah says, فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. He does what he can do, whatever he wants. He says,
Oh,
فَقَالُوا لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. He says, be, and it is.
okay. So,
Everything you understand is his creation. He can create the likes of it, which you don't even know.
does Allah have
Everything
the
you
power to
understand
make
is
a
within
squared
his.
circle?
Allah is capable of all things. If
So you
he
think it's
wants to, I
possible
do
for
not
there to
doubt
be
he
a
could.
squared circle?
Mhm.
Okay.
A squared circle. Allah is capable. I believe he is. Why would he
Okay.
not? He
So
did everything
so you
else.
think contradictions are possible?
A squared. I did not think a contradiction. Clearly, Allah did not create a contradiction like that in this world.
But are they
You're saying
possible?
something that even is not of clearly in the world of, it says Darul Asbab, the world of clear ways. You plant a seed and it grows. That's the way Allah
Are
made this world.
they
A square is
possible?
a square and a circle is a circle in this world.
Are they?
If Allah
Is it
wanted to, I
possible? Is
believe
the
he could.
question.
It's not possible, no.
Okay, but Allah has the power to do it. Is it possible for
Allah,
Allah
yes.
to create a squared circle?
I believe Allah says himself, kun fayakun, in the book, in the
Yeah.
holy books,
So,
yes.
well, then here's the contradiction. It's possible for Allah to create a squared circle, but it's not
Okay.
possible for a squared circle to exist.
Allah can create what you don't even know.
Okay. Well,
Is
I
that, are you
mean,
saying that
it's
it's
a
impossible?
contradiction in your view. So
It's not a contradiction because Allah created the world of
it would be both
clear
possible and also
systems.
not possible for squared circles to exist.
I did not say it would be. If Allah wanted to make a square circle in this world, he could. I
Okay.
believe he could, but
Yeah,
he didn't do that.
it's possible for Allah to create a squared circle. If he did, then it would exist. It's not possible for a squared circle to exist. Contradiction.
I did not. How is that a contradiction?
It's
When
both
I
possible and
agree
not
with you
possible
in
for a
this
squared
world,
circle
in
to
this world,
exist.
where Allah has, from what I have witnessed with my own eyes, I have never seen a square circle. So it's not what Allah allowed in this creation. It's like if I said, let there be
Okay. I can just
flying
like type the
dragon with
argument
20
out.
wings. To a flying dragon, I can assume a flying dragon. Can there be a flying dragon with 30 wings? Can Allah
Um,
create a flying dragon with 30 wings? Yes, he could. But did he do it? No, he didn't. At least I have not seen that.
if Allah has the power, a square circle, then it is possible for Allah to create a squared circle. If it is possible for Allah to create a square circle, then it is possible for a square circle to exist. It is not possible for a square circle to exist. What do we want to do about this? There's a contradiction.
There are many things that you can assume. You can assume many things. You can say there can be many different things.
Can you reject a
You can
premise?
say-
Did you reject premise 1,
can
2,
you-
or 3 maybe?
No, I did not reject. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying
Oh.
yes, a square circle does not exist right now.
Well, wait, is it
Yes.
possible for one to exist?
Yes, because Allah is capable of all things.
Okay, so you do think contradictions are possible.
How Allah is capable of all things. He can create what we don't even know
Okay.
at all.
Well, if you think contradictions are possible, then there's kind of no point in arguing with you if you're like a logic denier. Let me read. I'll read some supers. Let's read some supers. Fendi Gamer, thanks so much for the super chat. Fendi Gamer, thanks so much for the resub tier 1 on Twitch. You've been subbed for 6 months. 6 months. That's really cool. That's great. Thank you so much for being here for half a year. Christopher Sanford, thanks so much for the super chat. To summarize this caller, wow, true. Professional, thanks so much for the super chat. Everyone should remember Jordan Peterson was not mad, was so not mad in that video that Jubilee had to change the title from 1 Christian versus 20 atheists to Jordan Peterson versus 20 atheists. Yeah, he got like unfortunately just totally fried, kind of according to everyone. Grimmy, thanks so much for the super chat. Religion promotes discrimination more than any other movement. That's true. Don't ask what the religioids were doing. Real Marcuse Holloway, thanks so much for the super chat. You making me mad and causing me to hurt you is hate speech against me. True. Yeah, if you say something that upsets me, I'm gonna kill you. And if I do that, that's hate speech. You said hate speech. Dude Fuse, thanks so much for the super chat. Jesus will wait till you find him. Well, he could speed up the process, right? He could easily speed up the process, you know. All Jesus needs to do is fucking let me know. Give me a shout out. Be like, hey, what's up? Are we good? Matt Lloyd, thanks so much for the super chat. Hi, Ian. Just a message of support. Hope you're doing good today and have a great stream. Thanks. Appreciate you. Yep. I don't know. I am doing good. It's a pretty good time. It's a good time. Sean, thanks so much for the super chat. $5 on Venmo for beating up on the Ortho Bro. There is a BBC radio doc about Manosphere going Orthodox. Yeah, I'd believe it. I don't know. I mean, you get to fucking be like a dick to people. You know, who wouldn't want to? All right, let's go to the next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty good. How are you?
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
Yep. And what religion?
Christian.
Yeah. What makes you think God exists?
Yeah. So before I start, I'm sorry about everything that's happened. I've been listening now for the past half hour.
Oh, that's okay. No, don't worry about it.
All right. So I don't want to make this too long because I got things to do. But I did want to get in here to ask you one question.
Sure.
So we can go over that. So I just want you to kind of reply to this question. My reasoning, my belief in why God exists is because we are here right now on Earth. Now give me, just explain that to me, right? Explain how we are here, and then we can go over the next point.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a long chain of explanation there. I don't know. There's like certainly key moments, right? Rapid expansion of the universe um, leads to rapid release of energy into these various like particle fields, gives rise to atoms. These atoms come together via gravity. They form like stars, planets, etc. Chemical reactions take place. They give rise to things like RNA fragments. Some of these RNA fragments are self-replicating. They replicate themselves enough and they modify themselves ever so slightly over time. And then, they gain the ability to have a metabolism and they can interact with their world around them. At that point, they just undergo like Darwinian evolution. They're going to select for the things that are good for survival and reproduction. And then, eventually speciation, humans, etc.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that information. So I heard you bring up atoms, right? Can you explain to me what created atoms?
Yeah, I don't think that. So I think atheism is compatible with two positions here. I think that either you could say that the universe always existed, in which case atoms would just always exist, or not atoms per se, but like the particles that compose them. They're always just going to be these fields, and energy is going to get transferred amongst it. The alternative there, of course, is that there's like a first moment of the universe, and maybe there's like a timeless phase of the universe, followed by like a temporal phase of the universe, and then there would be atoms for the first time.
Okay. Yeah, so even if we take out like all these other religions, because there's plenty out there, right? In my eyes, God is everything. That's what I believe, right?
You don't want to say that. Do you think God's all good?
Yeah.
Then everything would be all good. That has like obvious absurdities.
I
Like,
mean, there's evil, right?
is God that?
No.
So-
Okay, you know what? Yeah, you won me on that point. I'm not even gonna argue.
That's
You know what?
fine.
You-
That's
you
fine.
got me on that one.
Typically, you want to
But-
hold that God is like transcendent. You don't want to say that God is like inside of everything. Otherwise, you run into that.
Sure. I agree. Okay. I hear you. So what I'm just like, I guess, I'll be honest on here. I'm struggling a little bit, right? So, it's hard for me to not believe in anything when, scientists even can't, there's not a full on explanation to what I can just keep on going in conversation with an atheist or a scientist on saying what created that, what created that, what created that. You know what I mean? Until they're kind of speechless as well. I don't personally believe that something can come from nothing.
Well, yeah, I don't think that atheists believe this either.
Okay. So I mean, okay, yeah. So what do you think? Dates back to like the very first, like let's just go off the Big Bang, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
What I mean.
Well, the
really,
universe
though,
is always
like,
there's
what
never
created-
going to be a state of affairs where the universe doesn't exist. Is going to be like the atheist position. Like there's always going to be a universe there.
Okay. I guess I just wanted to get on here to ask you like what created this and what created this. I think that you did
Well,
bring
let's
up
say
some
there's
good
like an
points.
infinite regress. Like one of the models that I think is quite plausible. Let's say that the universe goes through infinite cycles of rapid expansions and then rapid contractions, where it always comes back to like a state like the Big Bang, where it's in this hot dense state and then it rapidly expands, and then after enough time, the expansion slows down and then it starts to contract back into a hot dense state and then it rapidly expands again. Like, what would be the
Okay.
problem with that? And it's just always doing that.
I mean, I don't think that there would be a problem. Like, I'm not. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm not like the 5 other guys that I listened to in the past hour. Okay, like I'm very open minded, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Right. So what right now, my belief is Christianity. Okay, but I come on to lives like this to kind of like maybe get an insight on certain things because I'm still trying to figure it out. But nobody can seem to like really get to that first main point. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't want to waste much more of your time. I mean, I'm sure that you'll have better conversations with other people, but I do
Don't put
appreciate you
yourself
letting me come in
down.
here.
But hey, thanks so much for coming on up. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
All right, let's go to the very next guest. Let's see if this one's gonna come up. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Yep, what religion?
I'm not religious.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah, but God in the sense that God is the universe.
Oh, well, I agree that the universe exists, so I'm not sure what we would disagree on.
Yeah, but the concepts that you come up with, that like these platonic shapes construct everything, like I do agree to a certain extent, but then I do disagree, because if you take a circle, for example,
Wait, I'm
like
sorry. Is this about like Platonism? We're only doing like the God topic.
yeah, but then this could be like kind of pointless then, because the thing is that you never admit to God existing. You always attack from a religious standpoint. But what, like, I feel like you attacking from a religious standpoint is kind of defeating the purpose. Like,
What standpoint?
your whole argument,
It's
your
supposed
whole
to like
argument
find
is
like
that
contradictions, but
yeah,
listen.
I'm not.
I feel bad because you waited for so long, but you know, if you just think God is the universe, well, there's not really a fruitful conversation to have. I agree the universe exists. I don't know. Maybe I'll yap for a sec. There's this like interesting passage in Eric Steinhardt's Platonic atheism, or maybe atheistic Platonism. No, it's atheistic Platonism. That's what it is. The introduction section talks about how a lot of atheists are trapped in like Plato's allegory of the cave. Like we're shackled to the wall, staring at the shadows that we're told are reality, that we're told that atheism entails like materialism and like nihilism and like fucking like, you know, error theory. Like we're told like atheism must commit you to all of these claims. And his entire project is to argue no, there's like a model of there's a way to get like all of the stuff that the religious people value, if you so choose. And his view goes way farther than my view would ever go. My view, like his view is frankly like fucking insane, but it's like way more plausible than any theist view. Like his view includes things like resurrection and the afterlife, and he argues all of this like a priori from like fucking nothing. He literally starts with nothingness as a thing, and then argues in favor of like, I don't know, he like builds up reality from nothing and then argues in favor of like resurrection and like fucking like you know, this increasing cycle, like this fucking afterlife where you're constantly improving yourself and becoming like a better being, a more like potent being. And I don't know, I mean, it's like kind of gibberish, but it's like fuck, that sounds way more cool than the religious afterlife, surely. You know, the religioids are gonna worship in their afterlife. You get to be fucking like, you get to be goddamn powerful, like fucking ultra mecha dude in your afterlife. Like that sounds way cooler. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 23.
And what religion?
I'm a Christian.
Yeah. What makes you think God exists?
Personally, I wasn't sure. I just was raised as a Christian, in the church, so I didn't really believe that for a while until like maybe 4 years ago. But honestly, I just believe it because I've been reading the Bible, and I feel like the things he tells me in his word, or that's at least what we're told, is true. I think a lot of the things are true. I have a lot of people in your chat asking me about a lot of the things that seem very evil and contradicting about this God who's apparently all good, right?
Facts.
Yeah. So that's like a really hard thing to like dive into, but it's something I would like to at least explain if
Yeah, let's dive into it. Well, there are a couple of examples that I think are really hard to explain. Here's an example that's really hard to explain. This is 2 Kings 2, 23 through 24. It's the bears verse. He went up from there to Bethel, and while he was going up on the way, some small boys came out of the city and jeered at him, saying, "Go away, bald head! Go away, bald head!" When he turned around and saw them, he cursed them in the name of the Lord. And then 2 she-bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, there's a lot of examples like that where he will just vaporize a city and sorry, yeah, a bunch of horrible things happen. But I mean, what I've learned is that there were a lot of evil peoples, and especially now, but like in the time of the Jews, and so I know the Jews weren't perfect, but God used that as His people to start the lineage of Jesus, right? So He was
They were
attempting,
children.
at least in
Th-
yes,
This is
yes.
like
So He
children
would
getting mauled by bears.
right. So He would command them to also attack certain cities and kill their babies, which many people see as very like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm not here to explain why that would be right or wrong. I'm just simply here to explain why I would assume or what I've thought I've learned is that there was a reason for it, which is that those people were evil and wicked in God's eyes, and they were unwilling to be saved and follow His practices. So those babies actually were, to my knowledge, before something in the Bible it talks about age of accountability. So those babies should be in heaven, at least according to what I've learned. I could be wrong, even if heaven isn't real. But I'm
Well,
I'm all about learning this. So
well, here's a question. Do you think that
very
the babies
interesting stuff to
deserve
me.
the death penalty?
No, no, of course not. I don't think
Okay.
that. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Do you think God gave them then a punishment that was undeserved?
I do. I mean, I think that
Okay.
a lot of things happen to people undeserved, and this, yeah.
Would you agree
So
that, an undeserved punishment is an injustice?
I would say that yes, that would be what it seems like, but
Okay.
it's again, I don't want to back myself into a corner, but if God is perfect and holy, then He has that right to make the judge choice. He gets to make the choice on judging certain things.
You may have
But
already
I
backed
don't know.
yourself into a corner, I fear, because it seems like you'd be committed to saying that God committed an injustice.
Well, I wouldn't say that because I think that would be a contradiction, even though it seems like there's a lot of contradictions. I typically, as an apologist, I like to read into these things and figure out what's really going on. Like, is it really a contradiction, or is there more going on that I don't understand? So in that case, I feel like God is good, and He actually sent those babies into eternal, life with Him after a broken earth where things happen and people are raping and killing, and there's just some bad stuff going on, and so anyway.
Well, so help me out here. Um, uh, maybe commits injustice. So I have this argument. Premise one, God gave a punishment to these babies that they didn't deserve. Premise two, an undeserved punishment is an injustice. Premise three, God never commits injustice. It seems
Right,
like
so
a
it seems like a big
contradiction.
contradiction.
Yeah.
So I think the well, in my belief, which I don't know if I'm right or anything. I'm just presenting it as an argument's sake. I would think that the first 2 points would be, that God didn't He wasn't trying to punish the babies. He was trying to stop these wicked people groups from inflicting His people group, the Jews, which is a very confusing thing. But this is all in the Old Testament, and this is He writes about this, but. So he took those babies out of an evil people group that was unwilling to follow His practices, which is before Jesus. In that case, you would be, doing sacrifices like of animals and stuff, right? You would follow these laws, the Jewish laws that He made for these people. They weren't following them, so in the Bible would claim that they wouldn't go to heaven, right? So those babies do go to heaven because they were never able to make the choice to choose God or not. They were put into a situation that God was going to end, and then now they're allegedly not dead.
Well,
technically,
so you're saying that it's not actually a punishment for the babies?
well, it's a punishment. I think life's a gift. It's
Oh,
not something that should have
sure.
happened, but
It's not
yeah, I
clear to
mean,
me then. I guess like of these three, which would you reject?
probably the first two.
Okay, but you agree that it's a punishment. Oh, I'm sorry. So you think that they did
I think
deserve
He was
it?
punishing. No, I don't think they deserve it. I think we deserve death personally, like everybody. Not in the sense
Oh, come
I
on,
want
don't say
people to
that.
die.
That's like absurd.
Why?
That you think
When I'm
every
reading in
single
scripture, no,
like
no,
6-year-old deserves the death penalty?
no, I don't think that. What I think is that for me, I'm speaking about me. I feel like that I have committed treason against a perfect judge. I feel like I deserve to not be alive, and so that's why I feel like He's given me a second chance. Like I feel like He loves me and wants, he loves everybody, even the babies and everybody in this chat and everybody in the world. I feel like he
Listen,
wants people to learn.
I try not to like crazy jacket people, but I it's hard for me to, when somebody tells me something that like every single person on earth deserves the death penalty, like that just
Right,
sounds
right.
institutionalizable to me. Like that sounds insane, like
Like a
totally
cult
like out of
belief
your mind,
almost.
like insane. If I
Well,
know
I
anything about
appreciate that. That's
anything,
true.
you know, I'm just very certain that every 6-year-old on the planet doesn't deserve the death penalty. That just can't be
Of course,
true.
and by human standards, they are innocent, right? They've done nothing wrong. And they have done nothing wrong. What I'm saying is that, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I mean, I'm saying that I deserve death because that's what the Bible tells me, and that I am, I fall short of His perfect expectations. Like, I
That's
can
not
give you
true.
one example. Well, okay, it might not be true, but that's what I believe at least, and I could be wrong about them. That's why I'm talking
How
with
could
you
you
to,
possibly think that you deserve
share
death?
insight.
You don't deserve
Well,
death.
I don't. I haven't. The worst I've ever done is pirate a movie. Like, I haven't really done
Yeah.
anything too crazy. But
You're not even in the same
according to
ballpark as
his,
deserving death.
well, I've lusted at women. I have hated people in my heart. I have, and according to that makes me a murderer of His 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not murder. And Jesus said, you've heard this said that you should not murder, but He says, I tell you, you should not hate your brother, because your heart will then have been. So anyway, I'm
That's
not.
come on,
Yeah,
like
I'm not
that's
sure
just
how to explain
obviously
it.
not true. Like it
Well,
just can't
I'm
possibly be
willing to
like
learn.
I don't know anything about justice at all. Like I must just know like literally zero about justice if what you're telling me is true. Like if I know
Well, I'm
anything at
sure you
all
know a
about
lot.
justice, I know that everybody on earth doesn't deserve the death penalty.
Well, of course not. And God doesn't actually want people to die. That's why He sent Jesus, so we could be, we could choose Him, and then we would be wiped of our sin because of what Jesus did, and we would get to go to heaven instead of hell, according to the Bible.
I don't know, man. I think that, gosh, I don't want to make it like a meta point, but like conversations like this do make me feel like maybe religion is like the type of thing that needs to be like gotten rid of. Like the fact
Right.
that people have managed to convince you that you deserve the death penalty, like you just don't deserve the death penalty. That's not true.
Well, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you letting me call. So, I mean, yeah, this is just an interesting thing, and I love to learn, and try to be open minded, and I like to, yeah, I don't know. So I've been, just reading it for a few years now, and I don't know. I feel like he's real. I feel like the stuff with the aliens is crazy. I feel like that almost points to the Bible, because the Bible talks about other hybrid humans, so that exist. And I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of things that kind of point to what's going on, and yeah.
I mean, we could explore that more, but I don't know. I probably am gonna wrap up stream anyway. But thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Let me release the new video. We're dropping a new video. Oh, we're not dropping a new video. Never mind. Okay. Oh wait, Molly, that's correct. There's no new one in the chamber. Okay, cool. Let me read these last super chats. Rally Smelly, thanks so much for super chat. How do you feel about people who believe in God? I'm fine with them. I don't know. I mean, I have like lots of friends who believe in God. I think that they're incorrect about this, but there are like a lot of theists that I really respect, like especially like a lot of like theist philosophers that I really respect. Like a lot of Ryan Mullins, huge respect for him. I don't know. I really like the work of like Brian Leftow. That dude kicks ass. Peter Vandenwagen, that's another Christian who I deeply respect. I don't know, even like historically. I like the work of Ibn Sina. I think that he kicks ass. Oh, maybe I'll do fine. I'll do one more because this person was waiting so long. Hey, how's it going?
Hello?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 28.
Okay. And what religion are you?
I am Muslim, alhamdulillah. How are you, by the way?
Doing well. Yeah. What makes you think that God exists?
Well, to be honest, in simple words, I would say, looking around myself, looking at myself, looking around myself, looking at the universe, everything that we can basically observe. I mean, it just points to a creator out there. And that's one of the reasons I believe, yeah, God exists.
Yeah, I definitely don't think so. When I look to the world around me, I see like horrors beyond my comprehension. There are like bugs where one of the critical portions of their life is that they need to burrow into mammals, like humans, for example, and they like liquefy your flesh, and it's like agonizing. And I cannot stress this part enough. If this happens to you, there are literally like bugs wriggling around under your skin. It's like a horrific experience. This is like worse than anything that like a medieval torturer could ever imagine. It's just like a horror show, and there's dozens of things that are
Okay,
exactly like that.
What does it have to do with God existing?
If there's a designer, then this designer would be like a sadist. Certainly not like an all good, all powerful God. He would be evil.
Okay, but in what sense? It doesn't make him evil.
You don't think that it would be evil to design bugs of the sort that I just described?
So do you think that bug only has this one thing that he does, and that is just negative?
Actually, it's
And it has
interesting you
no,
say that.
like,
Because we actually
Mhm.
got rid of this. They were called the New World Screwworm. We got rid of them, and nothing changed. There was
Okay,
like
but
entire regions
this,
where we totally eliminated it, and the region was totally the same. It was exactly the same. There wasn't like a collapse of the ecosystem. In fact, it turns out that the screwworm didn't do anything. It wasn't like some critical sustainer of the ecosystem. It didn't play like some essential
Yeah, but
functional role.
I
It was
get you.
horrific,
I get.
and it was unneeded.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you. I get your point, but the bug. I'm not really familiar with the bugs that you're talking about. It's
Mhm.
just probably the first time I've heard about it. But anyhow, these bugs cannot be the only reason that you would say, God doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I
And
think that there's
looking
like
at
lots of things that are
everything
just
around
like
you
that.
and all the other things, yeah, and just bugs, yeah, not a good reason, I would say.
Well, I can give you tons of examples that are just like that, where it looks like these animals are designed like they came out of a horror show. So, for example, there's a bird called the shrike, and it
No,
skewers
but with this,
mammals
I get.
onto like sharp branches, and they just have to like lay there writhing in agony for like hours while they like slowly bleed out while the shrike like gnaws at them.
Okay, so your point is that you see a lot of evil out there, and that's what makes you believe that there is no God.
What I see is a world that looks like it was designed by, I don't know, just like some horrific, like cruel creator.
Okay, so do
If
you
a
not
creator
see any
exists.
beauty out there? Do you not see any happiness out there? Do you not see opposite of horrific and what other words that you used out there? So how can you just you see one side and just like put all and just ignore basically everything
Mhm.
and yeah.
Yeah, no, I do see those things, but it's so strange because even that doesn't look designed to me, because humans aren't motivated towards pleasure necessarily. We're not motivated towards the things that we enjoy. Every morning I wake up and I scroll through like YouTube shorts, even though I don't enjoy it. There's like a mismatch in our behaviors and the way that we respond to these
No, but still,
feelings.
there is a lot of other feelings and emotions and things opposite to what you just first mentioned about how horrific and evil that does exist. That you cannot say that it's I feel it but I don't feel it. So there are things. So and this I mean this is I don't get your point with this. With the horrific part that you're. How does that disprove God?
Because
The
if God
existence of God?
exists,
Because
then we would expect that everything would be designed to be in a way that reflects his perfect goodness, his perfect knowledge, and his perfect power. But it isn't.
so why would you say if it's perfect good? Because if everything is perfectly evil, then there will be no good. And if everything is like perfectly good, then it would be just it wouldn't even be good because you wouldn't know like bad. So how could you differentiate good from bad?
But that's
How
not
can you
true.
like suppose that the God should be perfectly good? Because if you don't experience bad, then you wouldn't know that it's good. It would just be normal for you.
Does
And
Allah know what bad is despite never experiencing bad?
I didn't get your point. Question.
Does
Can you?
Allah is all knowing, so Allah knows evil despite the fact that he's all good.
He's not all good, by the way. He's the most good.
Sure, that's fine. Well, we would expect the most good world then,
Yes.
but we don't see the most good world.
What do you see? Everything out there in the world?
There are ways,
Like
there are
literally
trivial ways
everything?
to make the world better. The world would be a better place if the screwworm
Yes,
didn't exist,
100%.
for example.
Yes, because he gave you don't believe you have free will. You don't believe the choices that you make are your choices, or
I don't know whose free will the screwworm connects to.
but you cannot know about him. I'm talking about you, okay? So you have to make the choice, and then you know whether the choice that you made is evil or it's a good choice or a bad choice. And even talking about good and bad, because I assume you're atheist because you don't believe in God. So how could you even just say something is good or something is bad when you don't have any objective point source to like
But I do.
where do you like
We
how do you say like something's good or something bad?
Yeah, we can tie it
Where
back
is your
to
like
human
moral compass?
flourishing. The thing that all humans are aimed towards is their own flourishing, living of a good life. And what that's going to require minimally is some level of being able to rationally evaluate your life and approve of it, which requires self-respect. But if you have self-respect, then that's going to
But
require
that's
justice
subjective.
in order to be like a fair evaluator of yourself and a fair evaluator of others so that you can have that self-respect through self-knowledge in the first place. It's going to require courage to actually go and pursue your objectives, to weigh them correctly, to weigh the risks and the rewards. It's going to require temperance to make sure that you're pursuing things
How
and
do
not
you
spending too much time
differentiate
on,
good from bad?
you're not going to, I don't know, like enjoy things in the wrong way. You differentiate it based on whether or not it's virtuous.
No, but how do you know something is good or if something is bad?
If
What's
it's
your moral compass?
virtuous.
Can you explain the word? I'm sorry, my English is not that
Yeah.
good. Sorry.
Yeah, so there are like various virtues. So, for example, the ones that I'm talking about, justice. Justice is a virtue. What that means is that you treat like cases alike. This is a great one for motivating reasons why we should, I don't know, not treat people badly. If
I
you,
didn't get it. Can you please come again? Sorry.
yeah. So one of the virtues that you ought be is just, and that's a reason why you
Okay,
should
so
not treat other people badly, because justice is treating like cases alike. Well, if you wouldn't like it if they treated you that way, then you probably shouldn't treat them that way.
yes, but that virtue will make it subjective, because
No.
the point of view that because the justice that you uh, believe that is justice could be different for some person living in a different world, in some different continent, like different society, different reality, totally different from you, different lifestyle. He could have like a different sense of justice than you. So what you believe to be good according to your justice
The
system
question is
would be good
whether
for
or
you,
not
would probably be bad for him. So it would make it subjective then.
the question is whether or not he's treating like cases alike. That's what
What do
justice
you mean?
is treating like cases alike. I
Like
disagree.
cases
If
alike.
somebody isn't treating like cases alike, then they're objectively doing wrong, and that ties back to their own
What do
goal
you mean
of
like
human
cases
flourishing.
alike?
Yeah. So
What
for
do you mean like
example,
cases
yeah,
alike?
I'll walk you through like a case on this. So let's say that your goal was to murder someone. Well, you're saying that you don't think that this person has a right to be alive. But in order to do the murder, you would need a right to be alive. So you're saying that you have this right, but they don't have this right. You're not treating like cases alike. So you can't murder people because that doesn't treat like cases alike.
Like cannot be a right case because even as a human, it will be like totally two different humans.
What? I'm confused what the objection is. So it's a
I
question
mean,
of whether or
I'm
not
not.
there are like morally relevant features. If there are no morally relevant features that differentiate you from them, then you need to treat the case the same.
I didn't get your point. Honestly, this is a very difficult, and the words that you're using, to be honest, they're like
Oh, I'm
a bit
sorry.
over
It's kind of a
English that I
technical
speak as
question that
well.
you're asking.
It is, but this is like I've never heard this before. But
Yeah, it's
I
virtue ethics.
it's
This is
finding
like
it very trouble
Aristotle's
to understand.
stuff.
Okay. Can you give me like one more example if that's okay? I know I'm
Yeah,
being like
let's say
but I
that
understand because you
let's
said
say you want to steal stuff. Well, you would need to say that it's okay for you to have the thing that you're going to steal, but it's not okay for them to have the thing that they're going to steal. But there's no difference between the two of you. There's nothing that means that you should have this and that they shouldn't. So you're both saying that you have the right to have this, but also that you don't have the right to have this. You must have the right to have this possession because you plan on stealing it, but you also don't need the right to have this because you're saying that this right can be voided by somebody coming and stealing it from you.
no, but that I don't think that disproves the subjective making your worldview subjective, your right wrong subjective.
It's an
You know,
objective
how you come in.
criteria.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Because that's what you're saying. That's what you're because as one person, for example, I'm saying like, oh, stealing is good for me and it's not good for other person. But
Mhm.
what if it's other
yeah,
person doesn't
let's walk through
he
that.
doesn't have the same. All right, sure.
Yeah. In this scenario, are you saying that agents have a right to have property?
Who? Sorry.
Do agents have a right to have property? Does the
Asians, you mean? Or
agents, like people who take
oh, okay,
actions,
agent. Okay, sure.
do
Right to have a property. Yes,
agents do
sure.
agents have a right to have property?
Agents or agent.
Do agents have that right? Is that one of their rights? Do they have a right to property?
Yes, sure.
Okay, well then you would, on your own worldview, you would be violating that by stealing from someone.
No. If I'm
Yeah.
stealing, then I'm stealing basically. Yes.
Yeah, violating their right to
Yes,
property.
they have the right, but I'm taking the right from them.
Oh, I'm saying like
So that
when I say right, I mean like ought you not do that? Ought you not steal from agents? Ought if somebody has something, ought you leave that thing alone?
that is two separate things. He has that thing, and me stealing from him. It does two different things totally.
I'm
It's like
asking,
you saying
do you have a
I-
right to have that thing? Do agents have a right to have the thing? Because it kind of seems like you need to say both yes and no. You would need to say that you have the
No.
right to have that thing because you plan on stealing it, but you'd also need to say
No,
that
but I can.
agents
But I
don't
can
have that
actually buy
right to
that as
that
well. I
thing
don't.
because
I
you're
don't need to
planning on
steal
taking
that.
it from an agent. So you must say that
No,
that
but I
agent
can.
must not have that right.
No, but I can buy that, property or whatever, like through legal way as well.
Then you're not
So I have the
stealing.
right to have that property. Yeah, I'm not stealing.
Yeah, that's permissible.
Yeah, and yes, what's your point?
Yeah, it would be wrong for you to steal it, but it's permissible for you to buy it.
Yes, okay. So how is it? How does it make it objective then? I
Because
still
if
didn't
you
get it.
deny it, it leads to contradictions.
No, it would be like, for example, if I say, stealing is bad, and you say stealing is good, okay? There are two different
There'd be a
sentences.
contradiction in my worldview.
No, but whatever you're saying, you're saying from your subjective point of view, and me would be saying from my point of view, and that would, it's subject. Then it would
Do
be
you think
subjective.
contradictions are objective or subjective?
Contradictions depends on the contradiction. I would say. I think so.
Can you tell me what the subjective contradiction is?
I don't have any examples in mind. Can you tell me?
Yeah, well, no, right. Contradictions are objectively false. If you believe in a contradiction, then that belief is false.
No, so you're saying there's no contradiction?
No, I'm
This
saying
is-
that if your worldview has a contradiction in it, that worldview is false. You should give the worldview up.
Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. Yes.
Yeah. the person who thinks that stealing is okay, there's a contradiction on their view. They would need to say that an agent has a right to, I don't know, own property, but also that an agent does not have a right to own property.
No, but what we were talking about is, you know, how it your point of view was subjective because it doesn't have any moral compass.
But it does.
But this virtue does not it is not an objective moral compass.
You don't
for
think
you to
logic is
say good.
objective?
Logic is objective, but you just you know, like proved or like showed me it didn't make any sense.
It might be
didn't,
like
like,
a
just
language
prove
barrier.
point. I mean, could be, but I think I understood you like pretty okay though.
Okay, I mean, I can try to break this argument down. Maybe like this is an easier argument. I'm an agent. What that means is that I take actions to achieve goals. There are goals that I want to achieve. I take actions to try to achieve them. If I take actions to achieve my goals, then I'm committed to saying that I ought have the things that are required to achieve those goals. If I ought have it, then you ought not interfere with that. And if you ought not interfere with that, then I'm saying I have a right to it. But the starting place there was that I'm an agent. So if me being an agent means that I have the right to freedom and well-being, then all agents must have the right to freedom and well-being.
Okay, sure, but that's for you and the person living in totally different world, or like same world but like different part or whatever, and growing up in a different thing. It would be different for both of you. So whatever you were saying that the agent, all the rights that he has, presupposed rights, the other agent, he would be having like a totally different concept of this.
That's
So,
fine, and he's
again,
objectively wrong because there's a contradiction on his view.
that's what you say, but he would say that no, I'm objectively
Is there a
right or
contradiction on my
subjectively
view? And if so, what is it? Because the contradiction on his view is that agents both have a right to freedom and well-being, but also don't have a right to freedom and well-being.
That's what you're saying from the world that you are being born in and the things that you see around us and the how you were born, basically, yeah, nourished and whatever. And what, but he doesn't have the same, you know, mindset or because he didn't grow up in the same thing and he didn't learn the same thing.
That's
So you
fine. He's
cannot expect
objectively
him to
wrong.
have- no, that's what you're saying though.
Yeah,
cannot
there's a
expect
contradiction
him-
on his view.
For example, the way you're saying that for agents, you know, stealing is wrong. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what your mind is coming because of how you were you know, basically will grow up. But for the other person living in totally different life, yes, it could be different. Yes. For example,
Wait, sorry, that's
for you-
not. I don't know if you like didn't hear the justification, but my justification wasn't, well, that's just what I think, man. You know, it's just my opinion, man. No, the justification is that there's a contradiction if you deny that agents have a right to freedom and well-being, which is that it's no longer rational to pursue the things that you're pursuing.
No, but you saying that all the agents, for the agents, it is a right to own the property, and for them stealing is wrong. Yes, that's what you're saying. Yes,
I'm saying that there's a contradiction if you deny that.
that's what you're saying, though. Yes, that's what you're saying.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah, that there is a
Okay,
contradiction.
Let's just go something. You know, let's just take a different.
You know,
than
when
stealing.
the
We'll just say-
stupid kid in the back of the classroom raises his hand and says 2 + 2 is 5, you know, that doesn't dissuade me from my belief that 2 + 2 is 4. He can just be wrong. And similarly, if
Okay,
somebody
but, you know,
disagrees with the moral
as you were
system,
saying-
but they don't have a critique of it, well, they can just be wrong.
Okay, can I say something now?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. Yeah, as the way you were using stealing as you know, being like it's wrong in your point of view, and if something else or somebody else says the difference, then there's a contradiction. Then let's just say slavery. Would you say slavery is bad?
Yeah, you have really good reason to not do slavery. Yeah, it violates
Yes,
people's
I agree,
right to both
absolutely.
freedom and well-being. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. But a person living 200 years ago, or 250, 300 years ago, for him, slavery was okay. Okay. Yes.
No, I know, but there's a contradiction in his belief system.
Because
He's
that's what
saying
you're
that
saying,
him
but
as
it
an
was- but
agent.
there was no
Wait, does he have a
contradiction.
right?
There was-
Wait, sorry, wait.
Can I
Does he think that agents have a right to own
Can
other
I actually
agents?
finish my point?
Do agents have a right to own other agents?
250 years ago, in his mindset, yes, there was.
Okay,
there,
well
there,
then
there,
then
there
somebody
was
would have a right to
right.
own him then. So he can't do slavery because then
Yes,
somebody
yes.
can own him. If in order for him to do slavery, he needs for other people to not own him, but that's incompatible with another person owning him. So that's a
But
contradiction
if
on his
everybody
view.
is owning somebody, that's totally irrational. The way you just said. That's what
I
think is.
agree, right? There's a contradiction on his view. That's the irrationality, is like the slave owner has a contradiction.
No, so you would say everybody will be just slave because
Yes,
that's what he believes.
yes, yeah, that's what the position
There
would
will be
commit them
slave
to.
owner.
But then that would make slavery
No,
impossible.
no, that's not what his position is. He doesn't say that everybody has to be a slave.
Yes, but
That's not
there's
why
a
he's
contradiction
confused. For example,
otherwise.
the
Because
way you believe
otherwise
is that
agents both have this
slavery
right, but
is
they don't
bad.
have the right.
No. Your point is the slavery is bad, and 250 years ago, his point was that slavery is good. It
There's a
doesn't
contradiction on
mean
his
that
view. Is there a
everybody
contradiction
slave.
on mine?
I never said there's a contradiction. No, I said your point of view is coming from your subjective belief, and his point of view was coming from his subjective belief.
You
And
already
there's two
agreed
different.
that this person is committed to saying that agents have a right to own other agents, which means somebody else has a right to own him. So then everybody is enslaved.
No, that's not what I said. You're just.
That would follow from what you said. That's why it's an irrational belief.
No, that's where you're taking out from this, but that's not what I said.
That is what you said. I asked you, in this scenario, do agents have the right to own other agents?
Are you saying does agent have the right to own every single agent out there in the world? And does that mean that every single out there they own like every single out there agent? Does that mean there is no free person out there?
Is agency sufficient for the right to not be owned as a slave?
What?
If you're an agent,
use-
is that sufficient for you to have a right to not be owned as a slave in this world?
Can we use like person or people instead of agent? It just confuses me. I'm sorry.
Sure. Does being a person mean that you have a right to not be owned as a slave?
Can you come again? Sorry, I was distracted.
Does being a person mean that you have a right to not be owned as a slave?
That is, I don't know what you're asking, to be honest.
Okay. I don't know, man. I don't think we're making much
I'm a
progress.
person, no, but I am a person, and you're saying like I have a right to slave. Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking, do persons have a right in the slave owner's mind? Do people have a right to own other people?
The slave owner mind, yes, but does that
Yeah,
mean?
so then somebody has a right to own the slave owner, but that's incompatible with the slave owner having a right to own slaves,
Yeah, but
because then he
that
wouldn't own
doesn't-
anything
that
if he
does-
was a slave.
That doesn't mean that every person has to be a slave.
But what
It
it
doesn't
would
follow
follow
from
is that somebody else would have a right to
No,
own
it
the slave
doesn't.
owner as a slave, but that's incompatible with him
Yeah,
being a slave
but
owner.
nobody does. Nobody does though.
Yes,
Nobody
but he
does.
thinks that it's
That's what the reality
permissible
is.
for
You're
somebody
just
else
making-
to own him as a slave.
It doesn't follow. You're just
Wait, is
taking out
personhood,
from-
does he think that being a person is sufficient for having a right to not be enslaved?
It's a different thing.
Does the slave owner have a right to not be enslaved?
Well, that depends on his condition. If he's like a rich
Exactly.
guy and
He needs the right to not be enslaved in order to be a slave owner.
he needs,
But he
to
needs
have
to deny other people that
he
same
needs to be
right
like,
in order to be a slave
no, no,
owner, which is why
he needs to
slave
have a lot of
ownership
money
is
to not be
impermissible.
No, well, no, I don't agree with you. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I think I've like explained it and over explained it. So it's time for me to read some supers and then head on out. Binoman, thanks so much for the super chat. Mike Burgundy is way better than you, idiot. Aw, that hurts my feelings. Namaste Latin, thanks so much for the super chat. If D&D deities were real, which would you pick if you had to choose? Great question. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. Cal Fons, thanks so much for the super chat. Ian, I've been listening to your lives for I think 2 years now, and I'm genuinely in awe of how many examples of real world evidence you have. It's actually unreal. Fucking screwworms. Yeah, well, this is something that I'm working on. I'm working on something called the problem of what is it? Of teleological evils, which is that when I look to the world around me, there are things that look like they were designed by like I actually don't think the CIA could come up with like fucking screwworms. If you gave them 1 trillion years, I don't think that they could come up with something like that. It's like so horrific. I don't know, man. Like it's just crazy. In such a way that makes me like, I don't know, it just looks like it looks as if it couldn't possibly be designed by an all good God. But yeah, it's like pretty horrific. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I'm ending live.